Ooh,
We
hi.
oh,
Hey,
hi.
everybody.
We can hear Matt, but apparently you can't.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Wee. Oh,
What?
Holding for Matt, holding for Matt.
holding for
All right,
There we
Matt, you move your
go.
lips and
We're
I'll say what you
good.
say.
We're
ah,
good. Now they can
Hey,
hear
all
me.
right.
Okay. So
yay.
many technical difficulties. Thank God
Broken
for
through the sound
water.
barrier.
Oh
That's in
my
the
God.
day.
There we go.
I still think we
It
should
is.
get that technical difficulties emote.
Bum, 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 bum.
Doo-doo.
I've
Bum,
got a screen on
bum,
last night's
bum,
game
bum, bum,
when my
bum.
entire internet just died at literally 1 a.m, unceremoniously, right like as we were finishing, and the whole stream just died. Like everything, the Zoom died, the stream died, everything. And I was like, okay, and then I want to finish the game, and it's just not happening. God damn.
Although I will say that on our end, your screen froze with you, like, with this great look on your face. It was very much like, this is Matt Gordon's commercial voiceover headshot.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
I can't help
like,
that.
my finger was like an eighth of an inch away from the print screen button to save it when you bonked out of Zoom, and I was just like,
what are you gonna do?
missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity.
I'm gonna go ahead and put the overlays for. Let me just check something here. So we have some changes here because you guys are all level 5 now. So I want to make sure that
Just one.
well, yeah.
I was like, yeah. Oh wait, one.
So normally in the middle of the screen, you guys see their awesome little overlays of what like what they have, their HPs and all that jazz. You know what? I'm gonna leave it blank for now because I didn't get the chance to switch him over to level 5. So maybe during break I'll switch it back. So enjoy the blank, just blackness and nihilism of that black space. Just stare into it for a second or two, folks. Just stare
Feels
into
appropriate for
Just like
Ravenloft.
Ravenloft.
Stare into the
Exactly.
Log in
blackness.
there?
Yeah,
I rolled like balls on my HP anyway, so nobody needs to see that right now.
it's fine.
I rolled max on mine.
Well, there you go. It offsets it. The universe is balanced. Well done. Okay.
I was very surprised. I was like, oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dice Gods.
I'm checking chat just to make sure everybody is there. Hello, chat. How are you doing? And I'm seeing a message from our eponymous JF Messin who's saying, "Aw, Maeve's camera doesn't show her shirt." I know what it is, but I
What is your
also
shirt?
know Sarah and Megan would both enjoy it. Could you do that one more time, Megan? I don't think our yeah. Don't for okay.
Yeah,
That's good.
That's great.
I might
love it.
I might do something similar for our little credo soon.
It
Maybe.
was my birthday
Yeah.
present.
That's a great birthday present. Happy birthday!
That's right. It's almost your birthday. Happy birthday.
And guess what your birthday present is going to be, Maeve? To us, because that's the way it works here. Is that if it's your birthday, you have to give us presents.
Mm.
I am already aware of this.
Do you know what this present is? You know what this present is?
Ah.
I do.
Good.
I get to read our recap
That's right. You get to read the recap of what happened.
because I was kind enough to type it out.
You were. If you had just kept it inside that
did
wonderful mind of
amazing.
yours, then it wouldn't have been, nobody would have known about it. But hey, you just happened to, just let everybody know. I can do a recap. Typity, type. And everyone's like, oh, damn. She does remember everything.
I came back half an hour later to like 15 messages and went, what the? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for real. So
That's just Maeve recapping the whole again.
all right. So with that said, we're getting started a little late, but that's okay because I think it's time to get back into Ravenloft Domains of Dread with an awesome recap by Maeve. And Maeve, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. What happened, Maeve, previously on Domains of Dread?
Well, Matt, we joined our intrepid heroes at the start of a battle against the Woodcarver's apprentice Dragica. She was spying on us, and this was right after both Louisa and Mikmick had just accused her of not only being responsible for killing the villagers and our friend Claude. She knocked a house on me, which I didn't really appreciate, in the chase, and then we fought her along with 2 giant direwolves. The fight was very difficult. We came very close to dying several times, and right before the end, the villagers decided to come and watch us. not help. Why not? We did win, and after the fight, the Meister Singer decided to tell us that this was all just an elaborate play, completely fabricated. Not a fan. Many of us were not too thrilled on that, and both Amnestria and Muadnhait proceeded to not only wake her come back up, but, well, tell her they were going to kill her. They dragged her up on stage, and then at that time, her friend Louis showed himself and encouraged both of us to do that deed. We chose not to. Whether or not that was a good idea, I don't really know, and we'll never really find out. After that, we went with the Meister Singer to the underground well below the town, and found out that there was a lot more to this town than we knew. Even Louisa didn't know about this. He brought us to a room, we investigated it, found some various documents that we both took and read, along with some magical items, including a quiver and a lantern, if I remember correctly. After that, Amnestria stormed off. She was very upset that the Meister Singer was not willing to take any responsibility for Clodo's death. She left, the others followed, but she was long gone. They waited outside of town. During that time, our nice town guard decided to come and talk to her. He talked to Muadnhait and actually hit on her, which was pretty funny. After that, he gave her the spear that he was carrying, and Amnestria eventually rejoined them after dark. Maeve showed up around midnight, as they were just finding out that Louisa was from the place where they had just come from, Dementaloo. Unfortunately, though, we were not going back to Dementaloo, as we... it's okay. As Cave had already opened up a portal to go to Falkovia. Not many of us knew much about Falkovia, but we gleaned a few bits of information from it. Everyone walked to the portal. Mikmick went first, then Muadnhait, and Amnestria and Louisa went together. They each exited separately into this new place, which was really, really... yeah, it was creepy as fuck. As they exited, Muadnhait tackled Amnestria. They cleaned themselves off. After that, they looked around, saw there was quite a lot of individuals on spikes, which did not bode well for them, seeing as they were still very injured. So they went towards town. Upon entering the town, no one was really all that talkative. We weren't really able to talk to anyone, actually. Mikmick tried to talk to a guard, but failed. He kind of ignored him. As we got to the center of town, one of the guards called up from the ramparts, asking who we were. Amnestria answered who she was, where she was from. He told us to wait, which we did. Once that happened, the gate opened. The captain appeared, along with about a dozen guards, with pikes surrounding us. The captain introduced herself. Where's her name? Sorry. As Conzenia Vance.
Close enough.
Yeah,
We'll get into it. Don't worry. It's fine. Good. Yeah, it's fine.
She introduced herself. We tried to make small talk. It didn't really go anywhere, and she offered us food that it was customary. Everyone ate it, and then we found out that we were now conscripted to be soldiers of some kind, which not fun. And that's where we left off.
Superb. Amazing. Thank you for your wonderful birthday present, Maeve.
Yeah.
Yay. So yeah, you guys are in the land of Falkovnia, in the city of Lekar. And just a quick recap of where that is. Lekar is sort of in the north-central area of the map that was shown last time. But the entire countryside of Falkovnia is very hot. It's very sticky. It's very sort of humid. Smells of rot. and has this sort of overhang of sort of smog mist. And it's just a very unpleasant feeling, smelling place overall.
That's Manhattan in August, is what you're saying.
Maybe Manhattan in, like, you know, the 1700s or maybe even earlier in August. But yeah, in terms of the weather, for certain, yeah. But Lekar is indeed the place that you guys came to first, finding yourselves conscripted into the Falkovnian army by Captain Korksenia Vant, a very interesting looking individual. She has a tattoo of some kind on her forehead of some kind of a red bird or eagle or something like that. And she's a no-nonsense mofo. She's basically gave you food, you partook of it, and bam, you're in the army now, essentially. And now you find yourselves, I guess, surrounded by soldiers. What do you do?
What? Do you mean we're conscripted now?
She snaps her fingers, and the armed guards around you sort of position themselves with their spears to the sides, and she says, "Which one among you would you consider your leader?" She looks amongst the four of you.
I answer to no one.
That seems to be you, then. She sort of, like, looks at you. What is your...
And I also look at her and say, that's not what I meant.
What is your intimidation modifier? Why not?
Probably not great. Let's see.
Okay.
It is a 4.
Okay, that's pretty high. Does anyone have better than a 4 on intimidation?
I have 5 less than that, so.
1.
There you go.
Mikmick, not scary.
Yep. So yeah, definitely looks at you, sort of like looks you up and down, and she says, "I grant you the rank of Talon Corporal. The rest of you are privates. Follow me for the ceremony." And the guards sort of like gesture with their spears towards the door that Captain Vant came from. And she walks through it.
I guess she's not going to answer my question then, is she?
I think she's accustomed to answering anyone's questions.
Well, after
I
you, Corporal.
Oh, God. How long are we here again? 3 days?
It doesn't actually. When you remember, your compatriot. I'm blanking on the name because I have too many
Cabe?
friggin' things. Cabe Whippoorwill. Thank you.
Cabe?
Too many campaigns in my mind. Cabe did not say specifically when you would be, you know, when you could come back. You guys have the mist talisman to come back, so there's no time limits per se.
Oh,
Actually, I think he said we only had 3 days before the talisman falls apart.
I don't believe so. I think that there was no time limit. I could be wrong. I'll have to check the previous episode, but I don't believe so.
I'm fine with no time limit.
Well, I think it was more a time limit because Radagast was to be gone in a week.
Gone in a
And
week.
we've already spent 3 days in Cartagas.
No,
So-
that's right.
That was the time limit, I think. It was
Okay.
more
Okay, I
time
remember
limit
that.
on rescuing
this is-
Radaga.
Yeah, I need to just, well, we're not just trying to rescue her, we're trying to find her.
Yeah, finding her is the
So-
key. Right?
Yeah.
So she's here, and that, like, this is where she came after
After Cartacos. That's right.
Cartacus. That's why we're here. That's what I thought. I was just, it's been a while. I need to clarify.
I'm with you.
The others, I'm gonna look sort of at the others and be like, if there's any way to derail this ceremony and keep us out of the army, I suggest that we do it.
These people don't really seem like the kind that are going to dig no for an answer.
Yeah. It's a
If we-
first for everything, I guess.
Welcoming sight when we got here was any indication.
Okay. Once you guys decide what you want to do, tell me.
Nestria's going to follow her.
Amnestria moves in.
Mikmick is trying to remember back, see if he can remember anything at all about conscription.
What do you mean?
Because it's obvious the recent party just has been conscripted. See if he can remember anything about what you can do to get out of conscription. Yeah.
To get out of conscription? I guess it depends on the army that you're in, to be honest.
Yeah, that's basically what it's.
I mean, you can
see
be sort
if
of.
you can remember anything. It's gonna probably be high DC.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
Though
I'm gonna do a friggin' check of my own, like personally, because I don't even know. So let's go with
Black feet, breathing problems.
Yeah, you need to be 4H.
Foot.
4F, not 4H. The 4H is a club. Jesus, sorry. The 4H club.
Cows.
Go ahead and just roll an intelligence check, Mikmick.
Straight intelligence?
Yeah, straight intelligence.
No, 6.
Oops.
No idea. Saved again by low intelligence. Okay. So,
it's actually high intelligence, just a low roll. That was a roll of 3.
it's like it's a medium. Considering your proficiency modifier is a 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's actually a 3. Proficiency modifier of 3 of intelligence.
Okay, so
But yeah.
Louisa, Muadnhait, what are you doing?
Muadnhait's just gonna heave a sigh and follow.
Okay.
Louisa's just kind of gonna pull the hood of her cloak over her hair like a little bit further and follow silently.
Okay. Mikmick.
Mikmick will follow in, but he'll continue following the party, but he's actively looking out for like a blacksmith or an armorer.
You do see one. You do see one. In fact, you hear it before you see it. You see there's one across the alley, so to speak, or I say the other side of the relatively narrow street. You see he's sort of like just completely head to toe in soot, wearing thick leather gloves. Here, you can hear him tapping. See? There you go. Yeah. Right on cue. So yeah, he's definitely making an enormous number of pieces of armor and weapons.
And Mikmick will probably take a note of where that is, but continuing following the party, so see where this commander is taking him first.
Okay.
And then he'll probably return there.
All right, so the 4 of you entered this building. Now, something I was waiting for, because God knows what's going to happen, is that there was a redemption in chat.
Oh dear.
And that was for...
Taroka time?
It's Taroka time. Tempt the Fates, common Taroka deck. So, that will go to Mikmick.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Mikmick, let's
Yes.
go.
Let's have fun.
Here
Good
we
luck.
go. Common Taroka deck. Let's deal this and see what you get. I'm going to throw it right on the board, and you can tell me what this card is. I'm actually going to deal it directly to you, Red, and it'll go right onto your hand, so you can pull it out and show everybody.
Okay.
Throw it on the table, and...
Throw it on the table. Okay. The charlatan. We've had this one before.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Time.
Second person to have that happen.
So, I'm going to take the charlatan, I'm going to recall it, and then I'm going to remove it.
Oh, I see.
Okay. Was that the charlatan, or was that the illusionist? I'm sorry, because it looked like
The
a...
charlatan.
Charlatan? Okay, let's just let me take that card back. I don't see it on the table. Oh, you gave it to me. Haha, super.
That's probably why.
That's
Yes.
fine. Okay, so let me just... I'll just recall all of the cards and then remove that from the deck. Okay, so let's see what it is that the charlatan does. The charlatan, from what I remember, was good the first time. I don't know about the second time, though. All right, here we go.
It's
So we have had the charlatan. It is now cursed. So Mikmick, you are now unfortunately, cursed for the next 24 hours with disadvantage on all insight checks.
Oh no.
Okay.
All wisdom insight checks are a disadvantage.
I'm
And-
just thinking back. I may have got the positive side of that as well.
I've marked it as such, so it's been highlighted, which means you guys did take it, which was advantage on all deception and performance checks. It might not have been to you.
That was me.
We did.
So I've got the
Yeah.
charlatan both times.
You did? Amazing.
Full
Okay.
circle.
I agree.
And round we go.
Okay.
Makes sense.
All right. So, Wellworth, thank you very much from chat for putting that little bit of squeeze on them. Insight-wise, anyway. You enter this building, the sounds of the town behind you sort of falling a little bit silent, and you see yourselves in a large, you find yourselves in a large stone building with wooden planks across the ceiling. There are approximately a dozen of these Falkovnian soldiers with these sort of enormous red eagles splayed on their breastplate. The dank and rather smelly inside of this building immediately sort of hits your nostrils as you enter. It smells like mostly like body odor, like people who are in here haven't showered for quite a long time. But you smell also like earth, like moldy and sallow earth. You smell blood, the coppery smell of blood, and obviously that sort of overarching, pervading smell of rot. In the middle of the room is an altar. This altar has candles splayed all over it. Corxenia walks slowly to the altar ahead of the four of you and starts to light these candles. She then takes her sword, shing, pulls it from her scabbard, and says, "Kneel."
You do this to everyone who
Kneel.
walks through your gates?
I really do think we'd be more useful to
Kneel!
some common foot
She
soldiers.
screams it at the top of her lungs. Clearly
Yeah,
not one for small talk.
Yeah, Mikmick is probably the one that actually follows orders quickly. And basically, as soon as she says it the first time, he's down on his knee.
What about the rest of you?
Moina's just kind of standing and watching her.
No, so no kneeling.
No, not yet.
Okay. How about the rest of you?
Louisa will kneel.
Okay.
Could I make a religion check to see if he can figure out what they're kneeling to?
Sure. There's no insignias on the altar. It's just candles at this point in time.
Okay.
So it's going to be relatively it's just an altar. There's no religious iconography on it except candles.
Okay.
I'd look
So-
over at my knot. I don't think we have much of a choice in the matter here.
Seems to be a recurring theme lately.
Unfortunately.
Amnestria, what do you do?
With a deep sigh, I shall kneel.
Moynat is the only one who is standing. And Corxenia's eyes sort of trace up. I'd say she's probably a little shorter, but definitely broader than you, Moynat. And her hand sort of like adjusts its grip on the sword that she holds. And she says, "I will not speak this again. Kneel."
Only that were true. She'll roll her eyes and kneel.
Okay. She swiftly walks up to you first, and she says, "I dub thee Talon Corporal, in the name of that which keeps us whole, the one and true ruler of Falkovnia, Vladeska Drakov." And she hits you kind of a little bit too hard. Bam, bam, on the shoulders. Rise.
I stand up.
She then proceeds down the line, saying the same, "I dub you Talon Private, in the name of that which keeps us whole, etc., etc., Vladeska Drakov." Bam, bam, on Mikmick. Bam, bam on Amnestria. Bam, bam on Louisa. Rise.
Stand up.
Stand up.
Mikmick stays nil.
And she's saying Vladeska, not Vladislav, yeah?
That is correct. Vladeska Drakov. She says, in the name of the Crimson Falcon, welcome to the Falkovnian army.
Is that you?
Sounds-
What do you mean?
Are you the Crimson Falcon?
No, the Crimson Falcon is General Vladeska Drakov.
Oh, so it's a general. All right. It's always good to know who your commanding officers are. No?
Forgive us, we're new around here. Any relation to Vladislav Drakov?
She looks at you, she sort of squints her eyes, and she says, you would do well not to speak that name.
That means yes. I just say to Amnestria.
She says,
So now that
in the event of cowardice or treason, you will all be hanged, drawn, and quartered.
In that order?
She doesn't respond. And she says, you will now go and follow to the stores, the Talon stores for arms, for arms inspection, as well as outfitting. And she sort of gestures with a hand like one of these things. And the soldiers who were sort of not like completely at attention, but now they are fully and they sort of circle you. And they don't like grab you, but they sort of like come in real close on your position and sort of try to usher you out the door.
So you're not going to explain anything then, I guess. Right? That's what this is?
She just takes her water skin and starts to drink.
Mikmick will finally stand up and just address her more casually and just say, excuse me, ma'am, what rank would you be?
I hold the rank of captain.
We knew that.
Not
And
Captain.
Mikmick will walk out.
Okay. The soldiers usher you out of this building, and the sounds of the outside world once again come clearer. And the soldiers sort of gruffly look at you, look at each other. No one makes any jokes. These soldiers are clearly not the jokey types. They just sort of point across to the building attached to the blacksmith's shop, the smithy, and they say, "Inspections in that building. Go."
Give us some answers first.
They sort of
No
look up.
answers.
They look at each other and they say, "You'd be wise to follow the captain's directions."
Did they waylay you on your way into town as well, or are you a volunteer?
I do what I do for the sake of my country and for all the living. Now go.
The living.
He just points to the building.
This
Let's
could
get
just
this
get hold
over with. I'll head to the building.
All right. You head inside this rather cramped building, but it is as you the four of you enter, you see that this building is bearing the symbol of Falkovnia on the front door, sort of carved into it. But then painted over with a crimson hue. And as the door opens, you see that the main room is essentially just a storehouse. Barrels here, hanging on hooks there, but mostly just tables and tables and tables of gear laid out unceremoniously and just smelling like body odor and rot and blood. You see shields, all with this emblazoned crest upon them, suits of leather armor and suits of scale mail, chain mail, etc. These all look worn and pitted, chipped and gouged weapons. Whatever you could potentially find in the sort of in the weapons guide of the player's handbook, probably anything worth 100 gold pieces or less are here, of mundane equipment, are here in this room.
This weapon's and armor, though, right?
Weapons and armor.
Is there anyone in this room?
Yeah, there are
Or-
soldiers in here. There's one guy who probably looks kind of like more of a quartermaster. He's got his armor off. He's got his helmet off. He's inspecting all of the weapons and sort of like checking the chainmail, like lifting it up, looking at putting it up against the light, checking, make sure there's no giant holes in it, putting it back down on, making sure it's not in a heap. Much of it is rusted and definitely well worn. This guy, he's about 6'4", scraggly brown beard, bushy eyebrows, a coif of chainmail behind him, behind his head, balding pate, scars across his face, green blue eyes that are somewhat piercing. As you come through the door, he sort of looks at you for a second, and then looks back down at the equipment, and he says, "All right, recruits. I assume that you've come without any gear. If so, take your pick. One to each."
Yes.
Mikmick will have one look at the setup of the armor and weapons and walk right back out.
As you walk right back out, the soldiers are right there, and they just, look at you.
Gotta push my cloak open. Does it look like I need gear here?
The quartermaster looks at your vestments and says, "Finery, I see. You are a noble house."
It was.
"Well, we all must serve the state. If you choose any of our vestments and or weaponry, they are yours for the taking. If not, you must present your weaponry for inspection."
Just my weapons.
"Yes,
So I can keep my armor on then.
if this is the armor that you choose to wear, yes."
Alright. Don't
Alright.
suppose you can tell us any more of what we're needing this armor and weapons for?
I would assume that the captain told you, perhaps not?
She didn't tell us anything.
From what I understand, today's conscripts are to be escorting a wagon bearing arms and ammunition to Morfenzi. So I would assume that you were part of that group.
So we're protecting a wagon. From what?
He stares at you for 4 or 5 seconds. He says, "You are not from Falkovnia."
You don't say.
He sighs, takes a deep drag of breath, and he says, "Have you any love for your life?"
I mean, I suppose so, yes, why?
We here in Falkovnia prize life more than anything. More than food, more than riches, more than love. Life is that which makes all things possible. And in its opposite, in death, that is the true evil of this universe. That which dies and yet does not.
Oh, I see. Well, this is very convenient for you now, isn't it?
I do not know what you mean.
I hunt the dead.
You hunt the dead.
Yes. Just going to.
He sort of like puts his gloved
Although-
hands on his face and he says, "So you have trophies then?"
No.
He
Yes,
sort of
we'll
takes a
pull it
step
from-
back, his face goes slack again. He's like, "Then you are not a true hunter of the dead."
Is that so?
This conversation is unbefitting of your state, privates. Choose your weaponry and your armor, if so be, and then leave me. I have many things to attend to.
All right.
Amnestria, do you choose any weapons, or do you just stick with your own?
I think I will stick with my own. Although I did get that quiver of fancy unknown magical arrows, so perhaps I'll take a longbow and a shield.
Okay. Longbow and shield? Sure.
Yeah.
You grab a sort of a chipped and sort of well-worn piece of weaponry, this longbow. Test the draw strength on the string. It's actually pretty darn strong. Like, it looks like, you'd have to have a certain amount of strength just to pull the darn thing. And then you look at the sort of sinew that the string is made out of, and you sort of see that there's like, it's not like fully black. It's like black and red. Like, it's got sort of red entwined in it. It feels extremely strong for some reason. But for all intents and purposes, it is just a longbow.
Okay. I'll take some arrows too, because kind of need those to shoot the bow.
Okay. You can take a quiver of 20 arrows.
Sure.
Louisa.
She's just kind of looking at all of the weapons, a little overwhelmed, and then looks over at the quartermaster and says, "How does one best kill the dead that doesn't die?"
Well, the creatures have an unerring way of getting back up.
Mm-hmm.
So, just keep swinging until they stop moving.
Is there
There's a better way to do that.
what?
Sorry, go.
No, I'm trying to figure out how to stay alive. Like, do I need a crossbow? Do I aim for the heart? Like, what do I do?
No, these creatures are long gone. They no longer need any use of their organs. It is simply a matter of the force, the undead force that powers these forms, their bodies. You must just hew the limbs off, potentially the head, although I have seen creatures without heads continue to attack.
Right.
In my experience, keep swinging until they no longer move.
Bludgeoning versus piercing?
Bashing the head in, that works as well. But again, if they continue to claw at you or try to grab you with their undead limbs, simply sever until the life force is drained from them.
Alright. Well, if that's the case, I'm not much use with the blade. I'll keep this. And she just gestures to the broom on her back.
Yeah, and the quartermaster looks at the broom and he's like, "What, do you intend to sweep them to death?"
Have you tried it?
I have no time for jokes.
It was a genuine question. I was wondering if that might work. But alright, I see.
Nor fools. If you choose your own deaths, that is yours.
Well, don't worry, I won't blame you.
I wouldn't care if you did. Mikmick, what about you?
As I said, Mikmick pretty much immediately turned to leave.
Yeah,
Not going
he's
to
surrounded by
investigate.
soldiers who are like just looking at him like, where the fuck are you going?
I'm not a soldier.
They laugh. They just like
So
immediately
he-
break into a laughter like One of them says, "You all now, little one. Get in there. And don't come out until you've got our gear. Or there's always the alternative."
Got my gear.
Good. Wait till your superior officer comes out.
Okay.
Okay. The quartermaster like hears this conversation. He's like, "Well, I guess he's taken care of." Looks over at you, Muadnhait. Anything you would like to choose?
Everything in here stinks.
Wait till you get outside.
I'm
Literally
fine
and
with what I
figuratively.
have, thanks.
Literally and figuratively.
I pull out Mara's rapier and just sort of nudge a particularly smelly piece of armor back towards him. I say, I think what I arrived with is far superior to anything I could leave with. I'm not wearing that.
He says, well, I guess our material goods are too good for you. He says, I do have one thing, since you are the leader of this particular group. You may distribute this amongst your privates, no pun intended, wherever you see them best used. And he pushes across the table a very strange thing. It looks like a piece of cloth at first, with like little like rings set into it, like two metal rings set into this piece of cloth. And it's got like a drawstring around the bottom of it.
All right. Looking at something really quickly. Yeah, does it look like it weighs less than 10 pounds?
Yeah.
Pick it up with Mage Hand.
It levitates in the air. The quartermaster sort of like gives you one of these. And this thing floats up into the air, and as it does, it floats into the shape it's probably meant to take, which is that of a mask. A full hood mask. However, the material that you thought of was cloth is actually not cloth at all. It's much harder, it's much sort of more leathery, and you realize that it's been sort of stitched together. Yeah, this is tanned and humanoid, tanned and stitched humanoid flesh. The rings that you saw are actually lenses that have been set into where the eyes would be. He says, "Those, that's for whoever needs it. That's your Doomseer's lenses."
Doomseer's lenses?
Yes. Well, you're going to need to be able to see at night.
Oh. Don't generally have a problem with that, but I'm sure somebody will need it. Thanks.
Not wearing that.
I turn around. I just continuing to float it in front of me. I turn and walk back out.
Louisa's like, nope.
Nope.
Nope. Full of nope.
Don't
This
blame
is
you.
like, I will fight in the dark before.
Okay.
Do we have anyone else who needs dark vision?
I don't think so.
I think I'm the only one who doesn't have it, ironically enough. I don't know. Maybe I can just bring it. Maybe I can. I've got like a weaver's kit. Maybe I can patch the inside before. Oh God, I'm going to need a stiff drink before that.
Okay. That said, the quartermaster has given you all the gear that you have either accepted or wish to take. And so with that, you can then exit the quartermaster's shop. If you want to take a stop at the blacksmith, which is right next door, Mikmick, you're more than welcome to do so.
Before we leave, can I just do like a perception check or anything to see if there's anything powerful or interesting that we might have missed?
You'd have to be a little bit more specific, I think. Powerful and or
Okay.
interesting. There's quite a lot of things that are powerful and or interesting. But I guess I'd have to understand what you're looking for.
Something that's not just a mundane weapon. Like, is there any?
Oh, you mean
magic
within the
attack?
gear?
Within the gear,
I see.
or because, like, yeah, because she's still trying to figure out if there's a good way to kill things that won't die.
Sure. All of the gear, well, I will spare you the roll. All of the gear looks almost exactly alike.
Okay.
They're all emblazoned with this red falcon on its chest or painted on it. And it's in very little condition that you would think is, very few of the weapons are in better condition than the others. Right? There's not like, this is the good pile, this is the magic pile, this is the crap pile. Like, they're all the same.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Then, yeah, she'll just stick with Broom then. That's not its name. Don't worry, everyone.
As they exit, Moynot is looking around for someone who looks like they might actually be willing to talk.
Okay. You could make a perception check.
Okay. 24.
Ooh.
Okay. You know that the guards, or the soldiers in this case, are not your target of choice. The citizens in Lekar, are very much, they're not prisoners in Lekar. Everyone, although they seem somewhat miserable, they are just villagers for the most part. So, you could go to any potential place within this village and potentially get information from them, but the guards are just a dead end. No pun intended.
Womp womp.
Talk to the blacksmith. Either blacksmith or innkeeper are probably the most.
Yep. I want to talk to somebody who looks like they're stationed around the area where we just got conscripted, like where we were stopped. Maybe
Okay.
if there's like a merchant or somebody selling things, because we were close to the center of town when that happened, yeah?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, I will let Mikmick go do his blacksmithing, but that's what I'm doing. I'm looking for someone to talk to in the vicinity of where we were waylaid by the guards.
Okay. There's I would say that there's probably a guy who's has a wheelbarrow, and he's just sort of like taking bricks from the wheelbarrow and placing them. I guess he's a mason. Right? That's I guess what you would call someone like that. To create buildings, or some kind of other stone structure or brick structure. So he's sort of heaving these bricks, mortaring them, putting them up. It looks like he's sort of building the wall around Lekar, maybe a little bit taller. Or thicker.
Excuse me, sir. May I have a moment of your time?
He sort of stares over his shoulder, catches your eye. Yeah? How can I help you?
I don't know if you saw what happened just now, but do the guards conscript all travelers who wander through these gates?
Well, if they... he sort of looks around, looks at the guards, makes sure that none of them are sort of listening, and he says, "We have to take who we can. Listen, General Dracoff, she knows what's best, how to save us all. We've got to make do with whoever we can to fight them all. If we're not all together, then we're all apart."
Who exactly are you fighting?
His face gets really sort of dour looking, and he says, "They took my wife and my children. I had to stand there while the soldiers But I had to do what I had to do. There weren't them anymore. They were just shells. Souls were gone. The creatures, the undead, they're everywhere. They walk in large groups, masses, hordes through the countryside. There's no end to them. He sort of like does the 1,000-yard stare.
Why not lets that sink in for a second. Then she says, I'm looking for someone who may have come through these gates within the past week. Was she also taken by the soldiers? And I'll describe Radaga as I know her to look.
Do you say her name?
No.
Okay. He says, no. I've never heard of someone who looks like that, or seen anyone who looks like that.
Yeah, I know she passed through. Maybe nobody saw her. Thank you for your time. I'll let you get back to your work.
Peace be with you.
I'll go to... It rarely is. And then I'll go to find the others.
Okay. Mikmick, you were at the blacksmith's. What did you do there?
Mikmick is wanting to work at the blacksmith for a few hours, just
Okay.
to make a bit of change.
The cool thing about blacksmiths is you can't just like go in there and be like, hey, can I just work? Is it cool? Like, what if I just sit in on the blacksmithing? Like, it's their shop. So you can't be like, I'm just going to pull out my blacksmith gear and just lay it on the table. It's like if you go to a restaurant and be like, well, I've got some knives. Do you mind if I just jump in the kitchen and, make myself some lunch? Yeah. So you can jump in and sort of like be attentive. But for the most part, this blacksmith is going to do what he needs to do just to keep the output.
Even if it means just like cleaning the shop.
Yeah, he's like, he looks at you like picking up his stuff. He's like, what are you doing?
I just thought it might help out here.
I don't need your help. And he sort of like comes at you a little bit more aggressively than the last blacksmith that you were in touch with back in Dementliu. This guy is like a burly, just bare-chested, chest, like almost all the hair is like either burned away or scars. Face, again, sooty face, all arms up and down, crisscrossed with scars and burn marks, leather gloves, and like this sort of wild look in his eyes.
Mikmick will just stay relatively flat-faced and just say, no, don't sweat it. I've been doing this for more years than you have.
What is your intent? Let's try with that.
Intent is to calm him down, essentially.
Okay. Make a persuasion check.
Persuasion. Yeah. Let's see how bad I can do.
Oh, that's not too bad. 13.
13.
Yeah. It's like it's a little bit less than optimum. He sort of looks at you. He's like, "Listen, I don't have time for games."
And Mikmick will just say, sorry for barging in. It's more the fact that I just need to use my hands or I get a little bit antsy.
Just be glad that you have them.
About that. I don't necessarily have them.
I have no time for riddles, little man. What do you want?
I want to work.
He sort of purses his eyebrows together and he says, "You want to work?"
Yes.
I can sell you or make you anything you need. I don't need an apprentice.
Who said I'm an apprentice?
He said you want to work.
Yes.
I don't understand your meaning. Are you a blacksmith?
I am.
Oh, well, show me your wares.
I mean, And he'll just look at his arm. I'm wearing my old wares.
You made this suit of armor.
All by myself, yes.
Interesting. Oh wow, that's really strange. I just want to check something out here. The overlays got all mixed up and messed up.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's
I was
very strange.
say that. So
Yeah, it's all
everyone's-
it's all smushed in here. I just noticed that.
It shows Amnestria, but everyone's behind Amnestria.
Yeah. Let
Yeah.
me just remove it entirely.
Well, I guess we know who the star of this campaign is.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
I just noticed that on the overlay. I was like, what the
Maybe
fuck?
she should be Talon Corporal. I'm just kidding.
I just want them to talk to me.
Victory by
Um,
snark.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very strange. Let me just remove it. I'll put it back during the break. Apologies, folks.
I mean, I love that Moynad is the most intimidating one of all of us. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she has that smile.
Yay,
All right.
charisma. This is true. She does have her, like, slightly too big toothy smile.
Yep.
Teeth just a little bit sharper than normal teeth should be.
I don't know how to turn that off. That's so weird. Oh, I see how it was messed up. I'll just do that, and bam, it's gone. There we go. Okay, fixed. It is fixed. But now I have to fix Louisa's thing here. Let's fix that.
Oops.
That's fine.
Always the problem child.
It's fine. That's fine. No more distracting baloney in the middle, at least for now. Okay. Oh, while I'm looking at chat, since I'm looking now, it looks like we have another redemption, another Kamentaroka. This one goes to Louisa.
Oh.
So we'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that when we get to you. Yeah, he says, okay, well, I like your wares. Definitely of high quality. Certainly better than most of the things I've seen. And I think that because your armor is kind of impressive to him, that's kind of like a passive persuasion, like your armor, at least from this perspective. So he's like, okay, so I'm listening.
As I said, I just want to work here for a few hours, maybe. For a
Oh,
few
I
copper.
don't think you're going to have a few hours, my friend. You and your group are leaving in about an hour out to Morfenzi.
Well, then, just maybe an hour or so.
If it is an hour, then take the time you need. What do you wish to do here within that time?
Well, as you can see, my armor's taken a bit of a beating recently. I just need to belt out a few dents.
Sure. By all means. Take the dings out.
Do you mind if I use your tools?
Oh, now you want to use my tools, Mister? I'm the best blacksmith on the planet. I get it. This is one of these things. Huh. Now
Well,
make
I mean, I did bring my own, but you've got more of a...
Well, then
range.
why do you want... Oh, please. My tools compared to yours. He feels like he's ribbing you a little bit, Mikmick.
Mikmick doesn't even realize.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I don't get it. He sort of like, he sort of gives you a little punch in the arm. He's like, feel free. Just, please, I need them for the army, so please don't mess them up.
Oh, don't worry, I've been doing this for years.
All right,
I've only lost one hand.
an hour's worth of work, by all means. And he continues to hammer out like spearheads and shields and stuff like that while you work.
So we kind of work in different areas of the blacksmith shop.
Absolutely. Okay. Tell me what it is that you create in this 1 hour worth of time. Or besides digging out the armor.
Well, basically, apart from digging out the armor, he'll help out. He'll probably go next door to the quartermasters and try and repair some of the suits of armor they have in storage there.
Okay. That's very kind. Yeah, you sort of go back and forth, like grab the armor. He's like, "What are you doing? I thought you said you didn't want it." And then like he like looks out the door at the blacksmith, and the blacksmith's like, the quartermaster is like, "Oh, okay."
And then, like 15 minutes later, he comes back in with a suit of armor that looks almost new.
It's yeah. I mean, he's like, "Well, okay, maybe we should just keep him here in Lekar, because you know we could use all the help we could get." Anyway, so that happens during the next hour. Let's switch to Amnestria. We'll end with you, Louisa, and do your Tarokapul. Amnestria, what are you doing for the next hour?
So we have an hour, right?
You have an hour.
A short rest of the half hour, right?
No, a short rest is 1 hour.
Oh, well, that's what I'm gonna do then.
Fantastic. Short rest.
After I have that conversation, can I also short rest?
Absolutely. Short rest, roll your hit
Right.
dice, do your things that you can do with your short rest.
Like, I'd love to go talk to somebody, but no one's gonna talk to me, so.
Got to find the right person.
You do. Always gotta find the right
If
person.
anybody short rests with me,
I will.
I
yes,
will.
then I will hum a little tune while we do that, and you will get. Oh boy, an extra 1 hit point.
It is just a little tune.
Okay. All
Eh.
right.
She's still pissed off.
I'm fine with this.
All right.
Get some good hit dice there, Maeve.
Okay. 1. Ugh.
That actually gets me pretty close to full. I can take that.
All right.
Maeve, is your character sheet right? Because that's
Actually,
D4.
there we go. Now I'm at
Right.
full.
That's.
That's
I don't.
4.
Yeah.
I don't know now. I don't think it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
no,
I don't
your hit
think
die is
Blood-
definitely not a
Bloodhunter is
D4.
D4.
Nobody
not
has
really.
D4.
I just clicked
Even-
on the hit dice.
Then your hit die is configured wrong on your sheet because there's no
Yeah.
way your hit die is a D4.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see if I can figure out where that went wrong.
That'd be great. Then should I roll it again?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right. That's
Yeah, because you're D8, and I think
Bloodhunter, right, so you have a
D10
one.
now, isn't it?
Right, so I think you just have D8s. Bloodhunters are D8s,
you know what? We're gonna do one more.
Gonna
and
keep
a
saying
fighter is
Try
that.
to get
fighter's a D10.
We are just gonna try
Yeah.
to get up
Yep.
to full.
So you've
There we
got
go.
4 D8
Alright.
and 1 D10.
I'm gonna roll my D10 then.
So just roll your D10 and add your mod.
So
There's
I
your
have a
one.
question.
Get up to 6.
Should have
Ooh,
stayed with the
that's a
4.
burn.
You should have stayed with
That's
the
a
4.
burn.
That's fine. So I get.
Oh,
4 health
and I get my
back.
key points back on a short rest.
Yes, monk.
There you go.
That's right.
I hadn't used any bardic inspiration, but I would have gotten them back. I do have a
Still hurts.
question
Sure.
about the things we got from leveling up. I know I get my spell slots, but what about the spells?
Right. Bards get new spells every morning, every long rest. So you don't
So I
automatically
won't
get the
my new
spells.
spells.
Correct.
So the question is then I swapped out a lower level spell, so I still have that lower level spell right now and not the one that I swapped it out for. Correct?
Exactly. That's correct.
Okay.
Go
I will
wait for
put
long
that
rest.
temporarily back on my sheet so that I remember.
You got it.
Yeah.
All right. No, go ahead.
I was just going to ask because I got an extra key point on my level up, so I get all of them, right?
On the short rest, you get your key points back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
All right. So Louisa, after your short rest
Yes.
is completed next to Moynat, what is it that
Mm-hmm.
you do? Because I'm ready for that Tarokapul.
Louisa she's not said much since leaving Kartakas. And so basically, she's just sitting next to Moynat, and her
Yeah.
hand has just gone to the stone and the light necklace, or the light leather piece that that Mikmick made for her. She's not taking it out from under her cloak because she doesn't want anyone to really see it or be too interested in it, but she just keeps obsessively rubbing the stone, turning it over and over in her hand. And she just tries to breathe.
Okay. Let's go ahead and pull from that deck then, shall we?
Yep.
Here we go. Common Taroka deck. Let me make sure that I go into the deck and get rid of that one card that we do not need anymore, which is the
Charlatan.
Did you
the charlatan.
The other one last session.
Let me check. I will double check and make sure I can remove it because you don't have it anymore. It's the one I crossed out on my notes. So you don't have the charlatan and you don't
And the missionary.
have
The missionary.
the missionary. That's correct. So I will remove the missionary from the deck completely.
No splooge for you.
Realize my cantrips, the 5th level is when my cantrip damages go up. Yay.
And the charlatan.
Yeah, nice.
Okay. I have saved, and now we will draw. Actually, I will shuffle first, just because I like to shuffle. Because shuffling is fun.
Thank you.
And here we go. I will deal a single card to you, Megan.
Okay.
And you will let us know what card that is. There you go. It's under your. It's right on your thing there. Just drag it onto the
see.
the board there.
Huh? It does not want to drag.
And let us know what it
click
is.
it to open the
There
little
you go.
There
Got
you
it.
go. Ooh, I think this
All
is
right.
new.
What card is that?
I don't know. I can't get it to enlarge.
That's all right. I will
Can
help
you
you.
shift click it?
I can do it
Thank
for
you.
you. No problem.
Berserker.
It is the Berserker.
Ooh.
Boom. Oh, whoa, that's the wrong one.
You shift click the map.
I shift click the map. There we go. Let's try that. Boom.
Hello, Stonespine Mountains.
That is the
Ooh,
Berserker.
Creepy.
And I think at this point I'm going to
Okay.
bring our folks onto the map because I want them to see this cool art. There we
That's
go.
very cool art.
That is the
That
Berserker.
is so cool. Where are we going exactly?
I'll show you on the map since you guys are going to the town of Morfenzi. I think that probably either the quartermaster or one of the soldiers would probably like give you a sort of a rough map either in the dirt or something like that as to where you are and where Morfenzi is. So if you're looking at the map, you are here at where the red X is, and then I'll draw this out and then I'll tell you what the result of the Berserker is. Yep. So here, let me just draw a red line as to where you guys are gonna go, and bring that onto the right layer, and show you guys where you're going. That's where you're going, folks. You're going along this road, which
Over the river and through the woods?
essentially, you're going through this road where you will be accompanying this cart of arms and ammunition. This road is called the Watcher's Road. You will be then heading towards some kind of a river, which you will be then taking a southward trail down the, what's it called? Hunting Way. The Hunting Way. Over the bridge towards Morfenzi, which is right here.
Well, Moynut will be happy that she's right next to water now.
Indeed.
Let me just.
Well, at least for a time. So.
All right, let me move the Berserker back. As this is a new card, you are correct. Let me move it back to the deck.
Okay.
So I will remove
Surprisingly,
this card.
Mikmick didn't get it, being the barbarian.
Yes, right? All right, so let's see. What is the Berserker? Here we go. The Berserker. Okay. In your mind, it appears to you like this for some reason or another, Louisa. After you see all these just men who have all this just pent up rage and anger at something, and you feel sort of for a second that your body and your mind want to sort of join that fray. That you just wade through your foes like a scythe cutting through grain, and just letting every ounce of that anger that is pent up since you have left Kartakos, anger at the villagers, anger at the gaslighting and the ruse and all that, you just want to lay into everything before you with all of your anger and rage. If you do this, and you accept this condition, you will gain advantage on all Constitution saving throws for the next 24 hours.
Ooh, nice.
Let's do it.
And that includes, well, actually, you're not a caster, but that would include a Constitution saving throw for concentration.
Okay.
So you're doing it.
Really useful.
I am. She's got a lot of rage right now, and it just being able to tap into it and use it for something sounds so much better than just sitting here waiting to die.
Thank you, Endemian's Fury. Yes, give in to your anger.
Oh yes.
Matt, did we skip
Excuse me.
over the weapon inspection?
The weapon inspection was kind of like looking at your gear, and it was really more your weapon inspection of their stuff, right? So if you pick pick armor and weaponry that's theirs, they would check you out. But if it's your weapons, they're like, hey, it's not on me, man, if you die.
No worries. Because I did take something and they didn't really inspect it, so.
Yeah, but what did you take? You took a bow. Yeah, I'd say, yeah, okay, we can sort of retroactively say that, like, they just made sure that the bow was of decent quality. The quartermaster sort of gives the bow a pull, and that's probably when you notice that the draw strength on this bow is like, whoa, because you see his arm is just like tensed, like, and he's a big beefy dude. So this is a very powerful longbow.
So
Okay.
what, using strength to do damage
I
or
hope.
dexterity?
We shall see. Okay. That said, looks like you're outfitted. And the guards sort of all collect themselves in the courtyard of this town. And Captain Vant comes out of that building again. Captain Vant is dressed fully in a sort of half plate, half chainmail armor, much more so than more so sort of like for battle than she was before. Although, you know, still in even when you first saw her, was still sort of outfitted for certainly for some kind of aggression or combat. But now much more like, I'm going to go out there and kill a lot of people. She says, yes, your charge is this way. And she brings you down to sort of towards the gates of Lekar. And there in front of the gates is a rickety old wagon. You see that the wagon has crates in the back of it, and barrels. And none of the crates or barrels are labeled. But they do seem to be pretty heavy, as the soldiers that are loading the crates onto the wagon are straining quite heavily as they lifted, sort of as they place the crates onto the back of the wagon. You hear thud as they land on the rickety timbers. And yeah, now is your chance, if any, to ask the captain questions or give her some shit. It's up to you. I don't care.
Tell me, Captain, have you conscripted anyone else lately?
She says, we conscript those that we need to in the sake of the name of Falkovnia.
Yes, delightful. Well, we actually came here looking for someone. Wondering if you happen to, see her? Conscript her, perhaps, and I will once again describe physically for Daga.
She says, oh, you were looking for the witch.
I suppose you could call her that.
Huh. What a remarkable coincidence. Radaga,
How so?
this one who you speak of, is that her name?
Sounds familiar, yes.
She smiles, and she says, she's presently in Morfenzi, as far as I know right now, and in the service of Bjorn Horstman. And then, as she says that name, she just, like, spits on the ground.
Not a fan, I see.
Well, he is no less dedicated than I to the survival of Falkovnia's people, but his means are contemptible.
What does that mean
Contemptible how?
according to you? Yeah.
I wish to speak no further of this man. I think that we have our orders, don't we, Corporal? She crosses her arms.
Indeed. Captain. And I muster absolutely as much disdain as I can possibly fit into those two syllables.
Okay.
Have you ever thought of just asking people if they'd help you fight the dead?
She sort of like looks at you like you have three heads. Like, this is completely anathema. This does not compute. Like, CorxeniaVant.exe has failed to start.
Technically, Amnestria does have four heads, but depending on what mood she's in.
Right, exactly.
Oh God Almighty! I was like, what?
I'm going to unholster my crossbow and cast one of my blood rays on it.
Which one?
I'm gonna cast Right at the Dawn.
Right at the dawn. Okay.
Nice.
This will do some damage to you, right? All
It does a
of your,
D4.
yeah. So roll your d4. Ooh, ouch.
Of course, it's a D4.
Oof.
There
Yeah.
goes the health I just got, but that's fine.
What's the effect of a d4 of damage on Amnestria when that happens? I wonder. Like, does she just like start bleeding? She's like, ugh. And she's like, oh my eyes.
It's just like as she just kind of pricks her hand with a crossbow bolt, you just see blood running down the hand, like her hand down her wrist.
Oof.
Just kind of sighs.
You didn't know she was
but now it's
hemophobic.
very much.
She was hemophilic.
Hemophiliac.
Yeah,
She might have
hemophiliac.
stabbed herself a little bit too hard.
She's like, damn, I hate this army. I hate it, ow.
Ah,
With that,
a little
her
hang
crossbow
on,
is
get that one.
glowing with radiant energy and bright light.
Okay. So your
And
crossbow
actually,
sort of
as
like
they-
emits this golden glow now. Nice.
As they start to move out, Muadnhait is going to start singing a little song quietly to herself.
Okay.
See if I can get one of the new ones. No, I do not. Damn.
Aw.
So what do I get? All right. Okay, cool. I'm too brain dead to actually sing tonight, so I'm just gonna put it in chat.
No problem.
The tale of the clever animal for the next 10 minutes. So when I choose to bestow this on someone, myself or someone else, for the next 10 minutes, whenever the target makes an intelligence, wisdom, or charisma check, the target can roll an extra die immediately after rolling the d20 to add the extra die's number to the check. The extra die is the same as your bardic inspiration die.
Right on.
So I'll give someone 10 minutes of having a d8 to add to wisdom, charisma, and intelligence checks.
Cool.
It's actually pretty cool.
And Mikmick will probably pull out the lantern, and even those the shaded lantern, and just put it on top of the cart.
All right. Very
Ghost
nice.
light or
Yeah.
Before we leave,
Yeah.
I want to turn to the captain and just. Some of us fight the dead for a living, you know, and I've been doing it for a lot longer than you have.
And
Well, if you just simply asked me instead of trying to conscript us into your army, I would have helped.
this is not our way.
not?
She just sort of shakes her head and she says, I'm sorry, this is not our way.
Ever think of maybe trying something new against the undead? Tries what works against them.
She just sort of sighs and she's like, we have no time for this. More Finzi awaits.
How does this journey last?
What was that? I'm sorry. I didn't catch that.
How long does this journey last?
It would take about half a day. You've garnered it would take about half a day to get there.
Okay. And what time of day is it? Because we...
Yeah, it's the afternoon, right? It's about like 1 or 2 o'clock.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we'll get there in the evening.
Well, you have a choice, actually. You can choose to go faster. We'll get to that in a second once you guys leave Lekar. So, absolutely.
I was trying to figure out if we were going to get there before we needed to have a long rest, if we were going to be suffering from exhaustion by the time we got there.
Understandable, yeah. Yeah, it's I mean the cart's not in the best condition, but it's serviceable. It looks like it's probably got, you know, a couple holes in the side of it. And it's pulled by this sort of impressive and, as it looks at you, somewhat unimpressed looking gray mule. Yeah, so you can ostensibly use animal handling, potentially to go faster on this cart. It would make your cart take less time, and of course the rest of you would have to go faster as well. The effect of that, going at a fast pace, would be a -5 penalty to passive perception.
Thank you.
If you, however, decided to go slow, it would take not half the day, it would take an entire day. But you would be able to use stealth pretty darn well.
And would we be able to rest on the road if need be?
I mean, you'd have to, because
Okay.
you'd be going full 8 hours. You'd have to pull off the side of the road.
Personally, I'd rather do that and be aware of what's coming at us. That's my opinion.
Okay.
As
We
long as
still
I'm
do
not
being
looking
alone.
for it, apparently I can see it. And Louisa just kind of huffs a little.
Okay. With that, yeah, the captain sort of bids you, the four of you, adieu, puts you on the cart, and says, "Safe journey to Morfenzi. If you see..."
Oh, you're not joining. Great.
No, I must
No, she's not.
muster the forces here in Lekar. But if you do see your intended quarry, if she is in the presence of Bjorn horsemen, say hello for me. And she says that in a way that you can garner, needs no insight check, is much more malicious, perhaps, than you would probably ascribe to such a sentiment.
Okay, she wants him dead.
Who knows? But certainly there's some bad blood.
She at least wants us to spit on him. Very minimum. So
All four of you. Are you a Bjorn horseman? Yes.
that's from Captain Van. What?
Well, I mean, Louisa may throw up if she's had enough to drink.
That's true. That's true. Just projectile vomit.
No.
I'm sorry. I have apologies.
That's poison spray, isn't it?
Sorry, that was a pull-on X card. Okay, let's keep on going. So, with the supplies secured on the cart, if there's nothing else that you would like to do in Lekar, you will be sort of ushered out of the city and onto the Eastern Road.
There is one thing
There's always one thing.
that we should grab
Go ahead, Columbo.
before we go.
Yep.
No, it's just I realized we didn't I don't think any of us have any type of insignia, the Red Falcon, so we should probably...
I have a shield.
She does have a shield, yeah.
You have the
Amnestria
shield.
did
Okay,
take a
great.
shield, that's correct.
Okay, great. I just wanted to make sure that we had something that
Mm-hmm.
legitimized us to another town so that we can't be double conscripted.
Double
That's
secret
actually what
probation.
the shields do.
I'm sorry, I've already been forced into servitude with one army. I'm not joining a second army.
Absolutely, right. Okay, so with the way open to you, the oaken gates sort of squeal as they open up, sort of pushing their way through the muddy ground, and then the cart rolls out the gate, and the oaken gates slam shut behind you. The silence of the surrounding wilderness enveloping you once more. Who has the highest passive perception?
Louisa.
I think it's Louisa.
It is,
Louisa.
oh, that's right. It was me
Absolutely.
till we got Louisa.
Yeah.
Yeah, Louisa
Sorry.
has gotten 18.
Yeah. Louisa,
Yep,
you've
18.
you get this
I
feeling
have a
that's
15.
like someone's watching you as you guys leave Lekar, and you sort of like look around and you don't see anyone outside, and you look up towards the wall, the battlement around Lekar, and there's a row of soldiers standing sentinel atop the wall. And your eyes sort of trace up towards the one who's staring at you.
Mm-hmm.
And you sort of look up at this soldier, and this soldier is like he couldn't be more than 15 years old.
Oh.
And he's got this sort of ill-fitting helmet and basically what was just like a sheath of armor over him, holding a spear way too large for his hands to potentially carry and wield successfully. And as the four of you on this cart roll out of Lekar down the road, just before you reach a point where you no longer see him, he just raises a hand in farewell.
Can I see what color his hair is by any chance?
It's
Like
under his it's under his helmet.
It's
You can't
under-
see anything.
Okay. Louisa just heaves a huge sigh and raises a hand.
Okay.
They're conscripting children.
Seems there's a great deal wrong here.
Say that again.
All right. What pace would you all like to keep?
Slow, steady, stealthy?
Yes, agreed.
Okay. This will make your trip longer, but you will be able to go in a stealthy fashion, assuming that your group stealth check succeeds. So,
Fingers crossed.
I'm going to sort of neglect the mule. The mule will probably not be part and parcel of the stealth check, but if you would like the four of you, go ahead and make your stealth check. I'll even tell you what the DC is.
Okay.
If you're wearing heavy armor,
Uh-oh.
you
Yep.
have disadvantage, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That one is
Ugh.
actually an 8. Yeah, still sick.
Damn it, I knew I should have thrown an inspiration at somebody. Yikes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because this is. I don't think your song helps anyone here.
Yes, unfortunately. So you are now going at
No,
a
it
s-
doesn't.
you're going at a slow and rather noisy pace. Like as the cart sort of bumps down the road, you just hear your armor like clank and jingle, all of the different sort of things hitting off of it in all the wrong places, creating noisy sensations through the air and sort of echoing through the branches of the trees along the sides of the road. Now,
All except for barefoot, why not? Moving
yes,
violently.
yes, and she's just like, I'm not even here.
Just
I
an
have a question.
FYI, I should have just rolled the 6 because the armor model negates disadvantage for heavy armor.
Cool, good to know.
So even though it's still only a 6.
Right on. I'm with you. But thank you for letting me know.
I had a question.
Yeah.
Is there any room on the cart?
I'd say the cart is a it's a large quote unquote object, so it's about 10 feet wide, which holds 4 people in the back total, and it's drawn by a single mule. So not a whole lot of room, but it's enough to carry all the gear too.
And it's just the four of us. There's no other soldiers or a driver or anything.
Just the 4 of you.
I was asking because if Amnestria were to be riding the cart, would she still have disadvantage on stealth?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not that the
Who's
cart makes your...
driving?
Yeah, that's a good point. Who has the best animal handling skill?
Mine is
me.
currently mine's at disadvantage for 24 hours, so definitely not me.
Ooh,
Oh yeah.
that's right, because of the mists.
Yep.
Yes. So it would have
Mine's
been
a-
3, but
Yeah. Mine's a 3.
Mine's a 1.
Mine's a -1.
so I guess
Mm.
Louisa is driving.
Okay.
Me. Oh, how fun. Okay. All right, Ears. It's you and me. Cha. So
Just call the mule Ears? That's amazing.
I did.
His name is
I love
Ears.
it.
He sort of like looks back at you like,
Yeah, you heard me.
amazing.
So,
We must protect ears at all costs.
yep, exactly.
God.
I've named him now.
Yes.
He's gonna die. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
good job.
Look what you did.
Don't
Pretty
ever
bad.
name an animal unless you don't. Well, I mean, first of all, you have to just clean up after it, because once you name him, you gotta clean up after it. That's the first thing.
It's true.
And then
It's true.
just
Mules shit in the woods. It's fine.
does a mule shit in the woods? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it
just making sure. Okay. So yeah, let me sort of as the day turns to the afternoon, you guys are going probably slower than you intended, but you are making a good amount of noise. I'll sort of describe the road. It's sort of maintained pretty well, actually, as you move out of Lekar, but as you stretch out from the city, the road sort of becomes very obviously not well kept the further that you are. It is humid still. Obviously, there is just no let up. It's not like it rains ever. It's just constantly just sticky. You feel your skin sticking to everything as you move just an inch or so. You just feel that sort of awful sensation of skin sticking to skin. At least at this point in the day. Now, your journey is marked, at least at this point, by a couple of interesting smells beyond that you've already had go through your olfactory senses, which is rot and blood, actually, for the most part. But you smell freshly turned earth. You smell fresh rain, because it does smell like rain in some parts of this wood, which clearly means that it can rain here in Felcovnia.
So you mean it's a rainforest?
No, it's definitely not a rainforest. It's definitely a forest in which it can rain. That's all.
You did there.
Yeah. There are a couple of sort of light breezes that sort of come and then swiftly dissipate, which leave you sort of lingering and wanting more. And then there's the sounds. From in an sort of pinpointable location, either within the wood or without, there is this sort of strange, barely audible, sort of groaning noise. The sound of not one, not 10, but potentially dozens or hundreds of moaning or growling or some kind of sort of strange sound from within your solar plexus, just coming up and just lingering in the air and echoing amongst those of all the other animals here. Yeah, that's what Falkovnia feels like.
Do you know a better way to kill these things than they do, Amnestria?
Well, there's a few ways. The right, you can take off the limbs, on her head. But actually the most convenient thing is radiant damage, which I happen to have.
Alright.
Okay. Your cart sort of jangles down the road, making all kinds of strange noises that mingle with the strange echoes of these things that utter these unimaginable sounds from potentially far away. Although at some times you sort of listen to them and you're like, is it me or are they getting closer? Like you hear the groans and growls as if the sort of whatever is causing these sounds sound maybe a mile or so closer to your position.
Could I do a survival check to see how they're, like, if I would be able to figure out where they are?
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
I have advantage on this.
Nice.
I have a -1, but I have advantage on this.
15.
Ooh.
Good thing you had advantage.
Nice.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, you feel like the sounds are indeed getting closer. That the sounds, at least the ones that you've heard, seem to be maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 miles from your position. In the direction that you are going, though.
How soon did we want to rest? This is going to be very dangerous.
Whenever there seems to be a safe place to do so. Can I make a survival check to look for somewhere off the path that seems like it would be a good, safe place to camp?
Maybe we'll
For
make
some
survival
natural
check.
protection.
What I'll give you is this: that right now you're currently on the road. I'm going to sort of ping on the map where I think you probably are at this point. I'll mark it with a black dot. I guess that's probably the best place for it, considering like about an hour or two has passed. You are going at a slow pace.
Yeah.
Considering that the whole trip would have taken you half a day, and instead now it's taking you an entire day, I would say that a 2-hour position would probably put you about here on the map.
I would say continue going until we get to the fork in the road.
That would
That way
probably
we're near
take you to
water.
that would probably take you to dusk.
Yeah.
We all
Yeah,
know
I
I
would
would prefer to be near the water, yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That means Moina can be near the water and get a good night's sleep, and we can keep an eye on if anyone else comes along these two tracks.
We'll need the water for ears anyway.
Mhm.
The
Sounds good
water
to me.
also might slow them down. Fire also works pretty well. How far away is the woods from the road?
I would say the road is about 15 feet wide, 20 feet wide. The woods are probably pretty much maybe 5 or 10 feet away from the edge of the road.
And I scan the woods to see if I can find any pieces of wood that I might be able to bring along with us.
And there's plenty. I mean, the trees are wood. The wood is just trees. The trees are just wood.
Well, I'm looking for something strong enough that if I were to hammer it into the ground to be spikes, basically, it would make a makeshift fence around wherever we're camping.
That might take a little bit of woodworking. I'm going to be honest. Now that I'm thinking about what you want to try to do.
I mean, I just want to take sticks, sharpen them, and then stab them into the ground.
Oh, I see.
I mean,
Okay.
I imagine that we're going to be camping in the woods. There will probably be sticks wherever we choose to camp.
That is true. There will be. Yes, I agree with that sentiment.
I'm just thinking along the way there to gather some because
Sure.
I'd rather do it now when it's light than to do it when it's dark.
Yeah, you could stop, grab a couple branches off some of these trees, hew them off, and then put them in the cart.
Yeah, and start sharpening them while you trap them.
Yeah. That's what she's doing during the trip then. Like, the cart's still going, but she's running off and getting things to...
Sure. No problem. Okay. The day turns to the afternoon turns to, I would say, close to evening. Yeah. You don't hear those noises anymore, those groaning, growling noises any longer, actually.
I don't know that I like that.
Note
Did they
that
seem to have moved, or did we pass them?
you're not sure, actually. It just seem to have no longer be making those noises any longer. But what you do notice, you are still making the noises that you are, right? You guys are kind of making quite a lot of it, unfortunately.
Is it just quiet except for us now? Like no other animal sounds?
No, there are animal sounds. There are definitely animal sounds. You
Okay.
guys can hear animals coming from the trees and stuff like that, yeah.
Right. And nothing behind us. Like the horde hasn't like come in behind us.
Circled
No.
us.
You
Are
haven't...
these stealthy zombies?
super stealthy. They're stealthy running zombies, yes.
God.
Stealthy
the
speed zombies.
Worst
We're-
kind. Wait for it.
Needless to say, Louisa's head is just on a swivel. Like the entire time she's driving this cart.
No doubt. I'm loving it. Go ahead and just make a perception check. Let's start with that.
Okay. Yep. Only when I'm not looking do I see things.
I'm going to say, may I also, because I was going to say, Moinat is just walking with her eyes on the woods, trying to keep an eye on things.
If you're going to help her out, I'll give Megan
Yeah.
advantage. So, Megan, you can roll that again, but take the left result, please.
All right, there you go.
That's still an 11.
Same
Oh.
damn thing.
Wow.
Sometimes you bite the bear, sometimes the bear bites you. What are you going to do?
This is when I really wish that I couldn't roll below an 18 because of my passive. But
Yeah, would be nice.
oh well.
Yeah. Okay. So, you guys pass by a bend in the road as the day turns to night. And I'll tell you what you do notice is that you notice that there's a new smell. And that smell is the smell of wood smoke.
So we're not the only ones looking to camp.
Yeah. Because unfortunately you are so loud, as you come around the bend, four 5 individuals are standing around a campfire, and they sort of stand up on your approach. These 5 individuals are all wearing the same livery, essentially, that you were offered. Chainmail with that sort of brand upon its chest area, the red falcon. And you sort of look past them, and they seem to be roasting something on a spit.
Do I want to know what they're roasting on that spit?
Do you?
Is this? We're not at the crossroads yet. We're just still on the trail ahead
Correct.
of there.
You are not.
I'm just gonna sort of wave at them as we continue.
Okay. You're just gonna go past them?
Unless
Or we
anybody
can
else wants
set
to
up
talk to them.
or keep it, camp with them.
I think we should camp
Morais.
with them.
I mean, Mikmick would put in for the camp with them and then get started early in the morning. So we can get there by midday at least. And more eyes to look up for watches.
They're just sort of watching you as you guys discuss this stuff, like amongst the 4 of you.
Hello there.
Okay. You sort of pulled the old Obi-Wan Kenobi. Hello there. And
Hello there. Well, you actually jump out of the cart and
land. General Amnestria. No. The one I would say probably closest to you, who was wearing a little bit more finer garb than the other 4, sort of turns and looks your direction and says, "Hello." He's got this sort of look on your on his face of just inspecting you. He says, "You, where are you from?"
Well, I am from Mordant.
What do you mean? Where is Mordant?
It's not from here.
I see.
It's a different place. It's through the mists.
The 5 sort of look at each other, hearing about this, and the one who's been talking to you sort of looks at you and says, "So what do you got in the cart?"
Lies.
Exactly, supplies.
The 4 of them sort of look at each other and look at the 5th, and the 5th one sort of steps towards you and says, "Do you mind if I take a look?"
Are the
I-
insignias the same?
Well, I wanted to say, can I insight check? I want to see if it looks like they should actually be wearing this armor. Do they seem like the other soldiers that we've met, or did they seem like?
Make an investigation check.
Of course.
Can I get in on that or help?
Do you have proficiency in investigation?
I do.
Then yes, you can give her advantage.
I'll give her
Oh,
an
so I can
advantage.
roll that again.
Yes, Sarah, go ahead and roll that again.
Or
See
I
if
can
I
roll.
Better
Nope,
than a
you're giving someone advantage, you give them the option
Nope,
of the
16
two.
it is.
So 16 investigation. Yeah, you look at the garb. It looks like, Talon garb.
And it looks like it. Well, mostly I was also trying to figure out, like, are these actually Talon soldiers, or are these guys who murdered Talon soldiers and stole their armor?
I mean, it doesn't have any signs around their necks that says, "This isn't mine. I've murdered people for this
Well,
gear."
no, I was saying, does his attitude match the other Talon soldiers that we've met so far?
I see. That would be an
That's why
insight
that's why
check.
That was why I was asking about it.
Then we'll disregard that investigation, and we'll ask you to roll an insight check. Does anyone have a need for someone to beat that 8 on an insight to give potentially?
Yeah, I will absolutely give.
What are you doing,
I have
Amnestria, to look into this behavior? What are you trying to garner?
Well, he did just ask me if we could look at the things we're bringing.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know who this is, so I would be wary of them, even though I've greeted them rather nicely.
Yeah, sure. All right.
Pass that rank.
Yeah, sure. So go ahead and make another roll there, Moynot, and take the higher of the two.
Please be higher.
A 12.
It's not great, but it's 12.
Yeah, you look at this guy in the face. He doesn't seem to be like overtly hiding anything. He could be covertly. He could just have a really great poker face, or he could be just, you know, he could be just another Talon soldier. You're not quite sure. He asks again. He goes, "Mind if I take a look at the cart?"
Our orders from Captain Vamp didn't include any inspections from you,
When you say the words Captain Vant, his eyes sort of like trace over to one of the other soldiers. He says, "Vant?"
Yeah, we don't really care for her too much.
He smiles. He's like, "Yeah, tell me about it."
Bit of a
We met her
hard
today.
ass.
She gave us food and told us that we work for her now, so we're not super thrilled.
Yeah, I feel you there. So, what did you say was in the cart again?
Lives?
no.
What kind of supplies?
I have no idea. She didn't say, and I don't really care.
She's such a bitch, right?
Yes, she is.
So why the hell would you follow her instructions? You don't even know what the hell's in those boxes, right?
Probably because she threatened to kill us if we didn't.
Oh,
But,
she does that to everyone. Am I right, boys? And all the other soldiers just go, Jordan threatened to kill me like 3 times. So, do you really need to follow her orders? She just doesn't know what the hell's going on.
Do you know what's going on?
Oh,
'Cause
we definitely do.
don't really.
We definitely do. Where are you headed?
Do you want down the road? Clearly.
Oh, you're going to Morfenzi.
I suppose so.
Why the interest in what your boss is transporting?
Oh, you never can tell with Vant. She's got her own agenda, her own ideas about how to deal with the dead. Some say she's crazy. Some say she just won't give up ever until we're all dead.
I have no
Cast
plans on
a
dying today, so
I'm gonna cast a message to Amnestria and say, do we trust them or do we just want to get away?
I don't trust them, but I don't trust Fant either. And if there are truly, actually, there's a limit to what I can say. Isn't there?
Nope, no limit to message, just
Oh,
one
okay.
response.
Right. If there are truly as many undead in this woods, that sounds like there are. It'd be better to stay with them tonight than be alone.
The
Second message.
while
Unless
you're
they kill us in our sleep.
while you're doing this, the soldier who notes that you're not talking to him anymore sort of like does one of these, and one of the other soldiers like stands up from around the campfire and wanders over to the cart.
I'm sorry.
Far enough.
Are you threatening the soldier who's walking towards the cart?
Not necessarily, I'm just politely asking him to stay back.
Make a persuasion roll.
Yes.
27.
You're very polite. He enjoys your politeness.
For once. Moy not being polite? What is it?
Moynot can turn it on when she
That's true.
wants to.
That's
she
true.
just doesn't often want to.
Yes.
It's her whole thing.
Yeah.
She also has a bad habit of turning other people on too.
That's true. The guard sort of like looks over in your direction. He's like, "All right, it's fine," and just wanders a little bit closer to the campfire, but sort of equidistant between the campfire and the cart.
What's your assignment out here?
The one who's been talking to you this whole time says, "Patrols."
So how close are they?
Oh, they're everywhere.
Do they have any kind of defenses in the camp, or is it just a campfire?
It's just a
with
campfire
weapons?
with like logs piled up in like a sort of semicircle around the campfire and like a couple trees and this sort of clearing in the midst of the wood. You,
Like you're very well prepared for the dead.
Oh, we're more prepared than most, that's for sure. Would you, care to, partake of our fire?
Last time someone asked me if I wanted to partake of anything of theirs, I got conscripted against my will.
All four of them, like, laugh at that joke. And the fifth one's like, she's not joking.
I'm not, but hey, I am very funny. Thank you. I've needed that.
The fifth one says, Falkovnians have a lot of very strange rituals. And she says this to you, Amnestria, since you said that you're not from Falconia. She says, if you take of someone's food, then you owe them a debt. They can call that debt in however they see fit. Because food is precious to life, and life, as he says, and as you recount what the guard said, life is the most precious commodity of all in these times.
Oh, I mean, if you want some food, I have some extra food I could give you.
He says, we have our own. Thank you. And he puts his hand up in a sort of a gesture of, I've got enough.
Pointing towards the spit.
Now, is it the same stuff that we fed earlier? Because my food is much better than that.
He says, you've never tried my rabbit. It's delicious. And he points towards the spit, and there is indeed a rather, apologies if those who were triggered by eating rabbit, but a very large and very succulent-looking rabbit on that spit.
Thank God. I was really hoping not to see a severed head on that thing.
Again, the guards all like, ha, and like the laugh like echoes out through the trees. A severed head? You must think us one of the undead.
I don't know what to think. It's been a long, long day.
At least they're not actors.
No.
Oh,
Alcohol. Fucking actors.
Well, I mean, they still could be. They still could
I
be.
used to, I used to like the theater. Never again.
The sort of lead soldier says, listen, if you would prefer to find your own way, by all means, you're more than welcome to continue on the road to Morfenzi, but if you wish to partake of our fire and our hospitality, then you're more than welcome to.
And what debt would that incur?
Oh,
Falcovian Cup?
no. That is only for food, not for hospitality and companionship.
Can I insight that?
Sure.
yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
it's like check
Why
that
not?
one.
Moynot raises an eyebrow on the word companionship.
Nice.
This guy's a smoothie. He's not a rough and tumble soldier like the ones that you met back in Lekar. That's the only thing that you sort of gained. He knows how to talk. The other four, they feel a little bit more raucous, a little bit more bawdy. Like they're taking in the jokes, they're laughing them up. They're not super smart. This guy seems to have an agenda of what that is. It could be just as simple as trying to figure out more about you all, or maybe something more. But he has an agenda.
Mikmick will probably get into the conversation at this point and just go up to the guy. I don't want to speak for everybody here, but I think it would probably be best for us to all settle down and take a good night's sleep. We're all a bit tired. But a word of warning. And Mikmick will come up to this leader and kind of whisper in his ear, I wouldn't try anything with these ladies. They're quite dangerous.
He just sort of smiles and says, I guess that's why you're with them, right?
They're more for my protection.
He raises an eyebrow. He's like, oh, clearly.
But In other words, I would take you up on your offer, but looking at these ladies, I think they're a little bit off-put by your candor.
Of course, of course. Perhaps I should just lay it on a little less thick. He puts his hands up again.
Probably the best idea you've had
Oh,
today.
He's quite fine.
Okay. Yeah. So, what do you guys want to do?
As I said, I want to. Mikmick's wanting to stay, have a long rest.
Okay. Yeah, it is getting towards night, so you were more than welcome to take a long rest if you'd like.
If we do this, we are 100% setting up our own independent watches throughout
Oh
the
yes.
evening.
Yeah.
For
Yes, we are.
Sure.
Also, we might see what these guys think of Meeklebrow.
Mm-hmm.
see if it loosens.
So,
See if it loosens some tongues.
so the good news with watches is myself and Mikmick only need to rest 4 hours.
Okay.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah, and Louisa and Moynat both need 8, I think. Or Louisa, do you
Yes.
need
Yep.
4? Because you're a monk.
Not
Monks
yet.
do 8.
Not yet?
Eventually, I will only need 4, I think.
Yeah.
But I am not. I have not yet ascended to that
Okay. That level, yeah.
mental. Yeah, exactly.
Right on. Okay, cool.
My body is a temple in construction.
Nice.
Temple to what?
We're gonna find out.
Very, very true.
To this. She pulls out her wineskin.
Okay then. Okay, so you guys settle in for the night, I would assume. Taking watch. Give me some watches here. There's 3 needed per night. Who's taking first, second, and third?
I'll take the first one.
Okay.
I was thinking maybe first and third. if you do.
Louisa, you don't have any kind of dark vision.
Unless you want to put on the night vision goggles.
And she does
Oh,
have a light necklace. So
I do, but I don't want to. I don't want to, because the fire is the fire still going, or
It's sort of burning out. I mean, you don't want to keep a fire
Okay.
going at night, right?
Yeah, no, that's what. Okay, so while she's settling in, she's going to take out her weaver's supply, which
Mhm.
has a bunch of like cloth scraps and everything, and she's going to ask Moynat to give her give me the skin bag, please. Ugh.
Why not?
could-
We'll mage hand it over to her.
Yeah, and she's gonna like flip it inside out, and then essentially just try to like line the inside with these scraps of fabric. So
could
that
Mikmick
she
help
doesn't
her?
have to, so that it doesn't have to touch her skin on skin. She's just like,
Mikmick would offer to do it for her.
aw, that's sweet. She will
Um,
not say no. So
I was just wondering if I can have Mikmick roll for it, but you could probably help to say where you want the padding.
sure, like anywhere where it's going to touch the skin. So like forehead, cheeks, nose, chin. You know, I can deal
Ears.
with the stuff around the neck, but yeah, but just anything on my face is not. Oh, that's not going to be pleasant at all.
Okay.
Ooh.
Fair.
Well, I mean, Mikmick, I think he does have proficiency in leatherworkers' tools.
Well, this is definitely a kind of leather, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, he does have proficiency in leatherworkers. So make a roll for that. And would that be dexterity?
Yeah.
based?
Yeah,
would say so.
sure.
Or would it be more intelligence? Nah, probably not intelligence.
I'm going to give you a stress point for this one.
Okay.
Well, not you, Mikmick. I'm definitely going to give Louisa a stress
me?
point. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair and fine.
Yeah.
I accept.
Yeah.
Um,
So Dex. Dex or yeah?
Dex.
or
Dex is good,
intelligence?
yeah. Mhm.
Dex, okay.
While Mikmick is making these,
Hell
Ooh,
yeah.
23.
Very nice.
while Mikmick's making all these modifications, can I take those sticks I put in
Sure.
the wagon and set them up around our wagon?
Absolutely. Yeah, the mule has already sort of like like you just see his head just go
We've untethered the mule from
oh,
the wagon itself
very
and
kind.
like
Very kind.
tied him to a tree so he can munch on whatever's there is to munch on.
Yeah, he sort of like
We've
lazily looks back
hobbled
at you. Yeah, he's just like.
She would. So she'd put the spikes around the mule then, and also around the wagon.
Sure.
Just
Don't
kinda
you
keep
wander
protected in
off.
case something.
I'm down for it. Okay.
So yeah, that's a
Eaten
natural
by a
19, by the
zombie.
way.
Yeah, that's very nice. Yeah, you easily accomplish your task, Mikmick.
And would I be able to make the mask look less horrific?
Do you want to give it like cat ears? What do you want to do with it? I don't know.
I don't know. Just make it something that's
I think I just.
not
I think
like
I just. I
it's
think I
an extra
broke
skin,
Maeve on that one.
not like Leatherface. Not like Leatherface.
Not like Leatherface. Leatherface with cat ears. Yeah, you got human skin. You got any kind of human skin? Otherwise, it's gonna be like human skin, leather, like the floppy leather.
He's got fur, I think, left over from
Oh
the
my
fur
gosh.
shop.
Yeah.
He does.
This is turning into a production of Cats, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah.
It's just like
The cat
Shit,
mask.
he figured it out, guys.
Damn it.
I'm gonna say Mikmick.
Why not
Unfortunately, because it's a
doing tap dance in the background?
because it's a magical item, you can't alter it as such.
Ah, fair enough.
But I liked your attempt.
This is good enough. Thank you. And then she's going to take a big old swig of wine before she steals herself and then shoves it on her head.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
You do that, like all of the soldiers go woo. And the fifth one sort of looks at you, Louisa, goes, okay.
Yeah, it's a look. I know.
Yeah. Okay, so we're just gonna. He sort of points behind him. We're just gonna bed down for the night over by the campfire. See you in
Don't worry.
the morning, I guess.
I got you. Don't worry. You're safe in my hands.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Before you go to bed.
And do you, Amnestria, want me to identify that quiver?
Sure.
Or the arrows
Oh, yeah.
inside the quiver?
Yeah. Well, while you're doing that, I do want to talk to the guard one more time.
Sure. During your 10-minute ritual, Mikmick, to identify the...
Yeah, well, Mikmick's...
Yeah, I'll just let you know that the arrows that you found are +1 arrows.
Okay.
So they are magical. What is it that you want to say, Amnestria?
I just wanted to make sure that if something happens in the night, that they'll have our backs, we'll have theirs.
They sort of nod in agreement. That's what we're all doing, right, Talon? You're a Talon. We're all Talons.
As of today, I suppose I am. But I'll see how long that lasts.
And we Talons have to watch out for each other.
Yes, we do.
Anyway,
Okay,
he sort
thanks.
of walks over to the...
Talons flock together.
Okay, Louisa, because you're taking first watch, everyone else sort of beds down. The fire embers burn
Mikmick
low.
will take the first watch with Louisa.
Okay, Mikmick and Louisa will both take the first watch. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okie doke.
Both of you please make perception checks.
Right. Better. There we go.
Very nice. Louisa, you and Mikmick sort of are sitting amongst the fire. The fire has basically gone out by the time that your shift ends. 3 hours in. You still have not yet taken a long rest, nor has, to be technically upfront with all of you, that your long rest has not even truly begun when Louisa, out of the forest, perhaps 100 meters from your position, you hear an ear-piercing scream.
Oh no.
Because you rolled so high on your perception, you're able to determine that this scream of this person couldn't be older than 10 years old.
Uh-oh. Oh, Louisa is up and running
Boom. Louisa takes off, Mikmick.
towards it.
Does that scream wake the rest of us up?
Make a Constitution saving throw with advantage.
Me? Or...
The ones who are asleep. The ones who are unconscious.
Oh, okay.
18.
Okay.
10?
Yeah, you're a very sound sleeper, Amnestria. Muadnhait is up. She's like, she bolts upright. She fucking Jason Voorhees like sits up like,
Oh,
boom. But Amnestria's just like,
5 more minutes.
yeah.
She's been
I'll
it's been a long day
I'll
for her.
sort of, having just woken up, I will shake Amnestria and be like, wake up, did you hear that?
Yeah, Mikmick, what are you doing? Like, Louisa has just bolted into the woods.
That is a good question.
I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to determine what you want to do.
I think if both of the other ladies are up, he's going to pretty much tell them, Louisa just dashed into the forest after hearing that scream.
Which way?
She did.
And Mikmick would point in which way she went.
Yep.
Amnestria's gonna take off after her.
Boom. Amnestria takes off after Louisa. Mikmick and Muadnhait, what do you do?
Basically, we're going to follow her after. Yeah. he's
I'm going to
told.
very quickly cast a spell on myself and then follow.
Okay. What spell are you casting?
Armor of Agathis.
Good.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Okay.
So, and that's actually a 1 a day, so that did not take my spell slot.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
just before Mikmick takes off, he's going to grab the lantern.
Super. Okay, you grab the lantern
Or
and
light.
run into the woods. I'm going to say that based on the sort of initiative, which hasn't been rolled, but your speed and your trajectory, that it is Louisa who arrives upon the scene first. What happens is you follow the sounds of this screaming child, Louisa, running through the forest. In your own mind, thinking horrible things of what this could possibly mean. You know it couldn't mean what you think it means, but it doesn't matter. Your instinct makes you just charge in this direction. This mask still on your face, enabling you to see in sort of varying shades of gray and white the ghostly outlines of this forest. And as you charge through the forest into a clearing, you see an edifice, a building, a burned out husk of a farmstead, which has been long turned into rubble, behind which is a large barn. The screams are coming from that barn.
Okay.
The upper door to this barn, the hayloft, is open, and inside you see a young child like screaming and like trying to not like seeing you, but like screaming out whatever's inside the barn with her, in a filthy tunic, and that's when you see and hear what it is that she is screaming about. You sort of stop and stare in horror. And Amnestria, you come out of the clearing right behind her, and you're like, what the fuck? And then you see what it is that Louisa is staring at. There is, in front of you, a veritable... I can't even describe it. I think I'm just going to have to give you the handout. Yeah. I know that's one way to get your attention. Hold on. Let me give it to you. Hopefully, I have it. Hold on. Otherwise, yeah, I can just copy the image, throw it into Paint, and then pop it into a handout. I'll describe it to you as I'm doing this. Normally, creatures that are of the undead ilk are a single zombie, skeleton, vampire, whatever it is. In this case, however, this veritable horde of undead flesh has fashioned itself into an enormous humanoid form. A form that is approximately, 10 to 15 feet tall, and is slowly like one of these sort of strangely gigantic humanoid amalgamations of undead flesh is climbing up the side of the barn. One of them, however, as well, is on the roof, sticking its enormous sort of hand-like appendage made up of dozens and dozens of zombies inside the barn to try to get at this child. I'm gonna now see if I can save
So it's
this
a rat
thing.
king of zombies.
It is.
Oh, God.
Yeah, basically.
Zombie
Yeah.
Rat King. I'm going to call it that, in fact. Zombie Rat King.
You're
Where's
welcome.
our
But if you
handout,
don't know what
Matt?
it
Where's our
is,
handout?
I'm coming. It's coming.
look
It's
it up,
coming.
It's gross.
Hold on. I'm doing this as best I
You
can.
said that we did not complete enough.
Correct. Your long rest has not completed, so none of
Mommy.
you have completed that long rest. Hold on. Handout coming. Drop file. Zombie
gonna
Rat
hurt.
King. I'm going to call it that, even though it's not its name. I'm going to call it Zombie Rat King, because it's fucking amazing. And then we're going to go to break. I'm going to save it. I'm going to show it to you. And here we go, folks. Incoming Zombie Rat
Oh, God. Yeah.
Ugh. Oh, no. And you
Oh,
said
that's
it's like
horrible.
10
Oh,
feet
yes.
tall? It's taller than 10 feet?
King. It's about 10 to 15 feet tall.
10 to 15. And it's only one.
There's two of them?
There are two
there's-
of these swarms of zombies.
Oh, my God.
Nice.
Okay.
Let's hope the soldiers woke up, too. Actually, I would say that Moynat would definitely kick them on her way out of the clearing to wake them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the size difference, right, of this guy who's running away from this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. And so I'm going to bring it to the map, and then we're going to take a break.
Ah,
Is it a little girl or a little boy?
It is a little
in the-
girl.
In the barn.
It is a little
Okay.
girl. She is sort of screaming. She's got her hand out the window. She doesn't notice you yet, but she is definitely in some way, shape, or form in quite a lot of distress.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Okay, so yeah, you can see one on the roof and one sort of climbing up the side of the building.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And let me move you to the map. Here we go. Boom. Okay.
I'm just. Part of me is wondering if this kind of creature looks familiar to Mikmick.
We'll find out. Maybe you can do an Arcana check when we come back from break. But yeah, so here's where you guys are. Obviously, Mikmick is in the back, then Moynat, then Amnestria, and in the front, Louisa, her just mouth just agog, and then these fucking creatures, one here and one here. I'd say that the little girl is sort of on this side of the barn, coming slowly, like halfway out the window. In fact, let me sort of just like put her there, like you can sort of see her right there.
Okay.
All right.
They're coming at that time. You can. Gotta come
Can I
there.
climb up? Can I run up walls yet? I gotta figure that out.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Eventually I can, but
All right. What we'll do is just because
Not
we had a bit of a late start. Let's go with a 5-minute break just so we can get back into this shit. Right? It's almost midnight anyway, so let's see how far we can get. It's gonna be a 5-minute break, folks. We'll see you guys in 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. More crazy shit will occur when we get back. Okay, we're back. This time with a good overlay of your level 5 characters.
la.
Hello, hello. Okay, so we are good to go. Let's give you some music because this is, although creepy, this is definitely a little bit more than just like creepy ass music. This is like friggin' fight music. So let's go with this one. Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the initiatives because that was from the last time. we
Oh, no,
fought.
we just rolled those.
rolled them.
Did you just roll them?
Yeah.
Fuck my life.
Yes.
Oh, it's fine. I'll redo them. I see that you rolled them.
I did not
My-
roll anything yet.
Okay, cool. Then I will just do the 3.
I wasn't sure if we got a surprise round or not.
No, definitely not surprised.
Okay. One can hope. And
I understand.
Then, you know.
A monk can dream.
Yep.
Okay. Louisa got a 15.
Yep.
do me a favor, Mikmick, just redo your initiative because I can't add a turn to your character for some reason.
I'll do the same thing.
Do the same thing and then just adjust it to whatever initiative you originally had. And I'll do
It was originally 15.
And I'll do the same thing for... Okay, and Amnestria,
I'm going to go ahead and say
17.
Louisa can go first. A, because she's probably dexier, and B, she's closer.
Okay, makes sense to me.
X is 16, so.
All right. 17 for Amnestria. So she actually goes.
There, I'll be. There we go.
8.9.
Beautiful. All right, let me roll for these mofos. Okay. So they are not called, unfortunately, zombie Rikings. They are a swarm of zombie limbs.
Yikes.
Delicious.
Creepy.
But they only rolled a 1 on their initiative, so it's pretty bad.
That tracks. Slow zombie limbs.
Absolutely. Okay. Let me bring the music down just a smidge, just because I can't really hear you that well. I want them to still hear the music. All right, we're good to go. So let's start with number 1 in the turn order, and that's Amnestria. What do you want to do, Amnestria?
I'm gonna move closer. Oh, but I wanna select. I'm gonna move over here, and I'm going to use a bonus action to redo my Rite of the Dawn.
Okay. Another D4.
Another
3 points of damage.
Hit point.
Oof.
Okay, and then I'm going to attack with my crossbow.
All right.
At right here.
The one climbing up the wall.
Yeah.
Nice.
No.
A 15 will definitely hit.
Okay, good.
Okay. Then I'm going to.
That was
And
the
then
crit.
I get.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, 10 plus
Why
6
did
is the two
No.
together, right?
So 10 is the regular.
That's correct. It's just the 10 damage.
Okay. And then I get my right damage, which is doubled because they are undead.
Woo!
All right.
That's another 4 damage.
So 4 radiant and 10 piercing, correct?
That is correct.
Super. So the radiant damage sort of like glows as your crossbow lances out from your bow, your crossbow, and shoots into this sort of swarm. It sort of gets lost amongst all of these swarming masses, so you don't see it doing a whole lot of damage. But you do see that one of these sort of zombie creatures was indeed hit by it, and you see sort of black blood issue forth. It is at that point that the radiant damage sort of flows through that center of mass, and you see sort of rotting limbs begin to sort of pop and explode. So the radiant damage had full effect, not so much with the piercing, unfortunately. Definitely some resistances there. All right. Anything else in Amnestria?
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. Damage. Okay. No, that's it for
All
me.
right. Cool beans. We're moving on to Louisa. Louisa.
Okay, so Louisa is going to call up to the little girl and she's going to be like, "Darling, try to hide." And then she's just going to charge at this one that is still on the ground.
All right. All right.
And then she is going to take out her quarterstaff, and she has now at level 5. She has 2 attacks, so she's going to just 1-2 try to
Bam,
hit
bam.
him.
Okay.
Yep.
As you scream out to the little girl, this is the first time the little girl's like even noticed you as you sort of yell up to her, and she's like, ah, and she looks down at you, and she's like, what, and she's completely confused out of her mind.
Oh, great. Okay.
And then she's like starts looking around the interior of the room, and that's all you can see before you rush in towards this zombie swarm.
Okay.
So give me some attacks
Does
here.
a 13 hit?
A 13 does hit.
Okay, great. So, and then, yeah, 24. So, 8 bludgeoning, 5 bludgeoning.
Okay, so you sort of grab your broom off your back, and you just hear like some swift and sort of sloppy cracks as your broom hits flesh. and bones splinter from underneath. This sort of gray mass of what probably was once living tissue is now just sort of slopping onto the ground. These beings, they don't like seem to notice you. They are all sort of part of the mass of the whole. You definitely are doing damage, but not as much as you thought. So 13 halved is only 6.
Right. Okay, so I'm stuck at half damage on that. All right. Thinking back at over everything Damir has taught her, she tries to connect to the energy in her body and tries to connect to what little energy is left in theirs. And I'm going to spend a key point, and I'm going to try Stunning Strike to see if it works.
All right.
They need to make a con save, which is probably through the roof.
Okay, and
Is
this
that
would
your
get...
level 5 feature? Because we haven't had a long rest to get that stunning strike.
Yeah, we don't have that yet.
That's what I was
A what?
about to ask you. Stunning Strike is a level 5 feature when you're a monk, which you haven't yet attained because you haven't taken your long rest.
Oh, okay. Then, sorry, I
All good.
misunderstood that. I
No
thought
problem.
we got to have it. So in that case, I will still spend a key point since I got them back. But I'm gonna do Flurry of Blows.
Nice.
So that's 2 more unarmed strikes.
That's right.
So
Both of them will hit.
okay, great.
Doing a total of 14 damage, halved to 7.
Half to 7, so at least something. And then because she used Flurry of Blows, she will use the disengage action, and she's just gonna back up 10 feet.
You can do that as
So
a free
right
action
here.
when you do Flurry of Blows. Is that like a
Yes.
drunken thing? Cool. I love it.
Yes, exactly. So she's just gonna back up to where she can still see the little girl, and she's just gonna try to say one more thing. She's like, "I know you're frightened, darling, but you have to listen to me. Try to hide." And then that's my turn.
Okay. I did forget, of course, that your stress is a penalty to your attack and your damage. So you do take a.
Oh, I thought it was.
Yep, it's fine. It's a penalty to attack, damage, saving throw, and ability checks, like all the big 4.
Oh,
So,
God,
I'm gonna-
I thought it was just
just attacks?
skill checks for the first one. No, I thought it was just skill checks for the first stress point.
Nope, it's everything.
Sorry.
That's
Okay.
okay. Yeah,
All right.
stress is a bummer. So that's okay. So
Yeah.
how many attacks did you do? 1, 2, 3,
4.
4. So they'll get 4 hit points back.
Okay.
Very nice. Okay, cool beans.
Actually, they'll get 2 hit points back because all of her damage was halved.
True.
That's a good point. All right, super duper. All right, Luis is done. Muadnhait, you're up.
All right, seeing what's going on here, she's gonna look, not knowing what will or will not work against these guys, she's gonna look up and say, "Oh, I thought nothing could smell worse than the inside of that armory." And she's going to viciously mock the one on the roof.
Okay. That's the one over here to the right.
Yes,
All right.
correct.
Beautiful thing. Let me just move the scene a little bit closer so our friends in chat can see. Although, you're way up here, and is way down here. Alright, so let's do some vicious mockery. Wisdom saving throw. They're not wise. Yeah, that's a natural 1 on that wisdom saving throw.
Nice.
All right, so does psychic damage appear to work on it?
Psychic damage? Let's see. Yes, it does.
Okay.
Nice. All right, so that's 5 psychic to the one on the roof, and seeing that it actually appears to be affected by this, Muadnhait smiles. And
Yeah.
then, both. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that like all of the limbs sort of like writhe, and like the ones with mouths just like scream in agony.
Show
So
this
you see-
morning.
Little smile curls on her lips, and then she looks over to Louisa and says, "Darling, do me a favor and try not to die." And I'm going to give her a bardic inspiration.
Hey,
Okay.
thanks.
Yeah, they are not
That's
the end of my
resistant or immune to psychic damage, that's for sure.
Noise.
Even though,
And it's the end of my turn.
who knows if they have brains any longer. Mikmick, it's your turn.
Just a quick question. Amnestria hit this one, didn't she?
Oh, yes.
Yes, it did.
Okay. So, seeing that Amnestria and Louisa are both going for that one, Mikmick is going to see the one on the roof and maybe get a little bit closer so he can actually see the one on the roof. And then he'll hold out his arms and do a lightning launcher at the one on the roof.
Okay.
So, let's see if I... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Get down a bit. And he'll lightning launch the one on the roof.
All right, I'm going to zoom out a bit. There we go. Fire away. There we go.
A 12.
A 12 will hit.
12 will hit with 6 lightning damage.
Okay. Yeah, the lightning flows and crackles out of your launcher and arcs like in a single bright blue beam. The little girl sort of shields her eyes as this beam sort of comes across the sort of plane of her vision. It lands with a sort of awful smell of ozone and burnt flesh into the creature on the roof, and it just sort of like crackles across the entire form of this awful undead thing, and does 6 lightning.
Yeah.
Very nice. Anything else?
That's it. Movement and action.
Okay. It is now the swarm's turn. Okay. The one on the roof. Yeah, I'm gonna say the one on the roof. Let's see, what's its speed? Okay, it has a climb speed. It climbs down the roof. No, I'm sorry. It climbs across the side of the building, 30 feet. So, yeah. It sort of like scampers across, like you just see like hundreds of zombies, like just like as like a giant wave, like crawling across the entire front towards the little girl. And yeah, it sort of goes 5, 10, 15. The little girl like cowers in abject terror as the swarm sort of fills in the space of the window, covering it like a blister. So you can't see the little girl anymore. Like, it's literally just blocking your view of the girl. What happens? You don't know, although you can still hear her screaming from inside.
Okay.
Although it is very muffled. Sorry to say. This one over here that was climbing up the wall, or was attempting to anyway, determines that it will instead climb down in a sort of downward trajectory towards the ground and attempt to envelop Louisa, because it makes its attack by swarming in and surrounding you.
Okay.
Like that. So yeah. First it will make a sort of what it's called, its primary attack, which is called Undead Mass. So as these sort of undead zombie limbs just surround you on all sides, you just feel like tearing and scratching and pummeling, and your hair is being pulled, your face is being stretched at odd angles, like it's almost going to be pulled off.
Bad touch, bad touch, bad touch.
Super bad touch. Here we go. Oh, that's a 23 to hit.
Oh, yeah, that hit.
Holy shit, I rolled really high. Luckily, it was a it wasn't a disadvantage, but it was the full normal attack. The other one was a crit. Whew. Okay, you take 7 bludgeoning damage from the first attack. While it is there on you, you feel your arms sort of being stretched and pulled apart from each other, like your spine and your arms just like being stretched to their utmost limit, as you are like super duper bad touch. This is the second attack called Grasping Limbs.
Ugh.
That's an 18 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
That is 14 necrotic damage.
Yikes.
Please make a strength saving throw.
Well, 13, 14. Strength saving throw. Okay.
And you have a bardic inspiration if you
I
need to use it.
do.
Okay. That's a 16. Do you want to use your bardic inspiration?
Yeah, because I definitely do not want whatever this is.
Okay.
Roll a
It's a
D8, Sarah.
Well, it's actually a 15 because of your stress, so...
Nope.
Yep. And then roll /R space D8.
I got it. Sorry.
All good. There
There
you
we
go. So 15,
Nice.
23 on that
So
strength save.
23.
Yeah, absolutely. You feel like you were being sort of pressed inward, like your entire body was being compressed by this necrotic force, but you're able to break out and you are not restrained.
Okay, great.
And you could just imagine that the voice of Muadnhait goes through. Louisa says, like, "Try not to die." I was like, "I'm not
Yeah.
dying. I'm not dying. I'm not dying."
Absolutely.
That was really bad.
Okay.
Actually, I think there's another voice going through her head right now.
Yeah, that's for sure. Okay, that is, as far as you are aware, the swarms is turns.
Okay.
We are top of the order, Amnestria.
Attack with crossbow again, definitely. Question: if I wanted to touch the swarm, would I have to punch it?
No, you could just walk up to it and touch it if you wanted to.
Okay.
Necrotic
I'm
damage
gonna
Give it a
Yeah.
handshake.
Yeah, I'm absolutely gonna do that. I'm gonna walk up to it. I'm gonna shoot it with a crossbow, and then I'm gonna touch it.
Okay.
Then give it a handshake.
Pop, 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 pop.
28 hits with that hand
Nice.
crossbow. Doing 7 divided by 2, which is 3 piercing damage, and 5 radiant.
Nice.
Which is double.
Hopefully.
Is radiant.
2d4 instead of 1d4, so she's already doubled it.
Okay.
Is it immune to necrotic damage?
It is not, strangely
Oh,
enough.
good.
Gonna have a bad fucking day in a second.
Yeah, you reach out and touch this thing, and you can just feel like
Really?
the flesh
Aw.
beginning to decompose and fall off this form, doing 6 necrotic
Good to
damage.
know.
Yeah, this thing is it's lost a good portion of its sort of fleshy mass. It's not just a big blob of flesh. It doesn't really have any distinct form, but underneath that blob of flesh, you see like Louisa's like struggling, silhouette, so to speak. Okay.
Wait, would I get an opportunity attack since it's enveloping her?
No, Louisa.
No.
My turn? Or...
Oh, it's your turn.
Oh, okay, sorry. Let's see. If I pull out the wand, would that be at disadvantage since I'm enveloped?
This is the wand of
Like,
magic
is it
missiles that you have, right?
Yes, so...
Well, it's
Yes,
a ranged
it is.
attack, so
Yeah,
Well, it doesn't really matter because, from what I remember,
that's why I'm asking.
I think it automatically
Magic
hits.
missile always automatically hits.
Yeah. So
Unless
there's no
you have
attack to it,
something
right?
special.
Let me check the wand again real
As far
quick
as I
because I might
know.
be wrong.
hit it from the inside.
Yeah.
7 charges, action to fire the Maxion missile, and expend one of the 3 wand's charges. For each charge you expend beyond 1, the spell's level increases by 1. Yeah, so there's no attack roll to this. You just use
Okay,
your action to
great.
fire.
Okay, so in that case, there's 4 charges left in the wand, so I'm going to use 2 of the charges
Nice.
as my action, and
give
just kind
you
of
5 magic missiles.
5.
Because magic missile
Okay.
base is 3, and then you... Oh, no, and then you expended 1 extra charge, so it'll give you 4.
That's right, 4.
Sorry, bad
Okay,
math.
so all right, 1, 2, 3, 4.
This is amazing.
Nice.
So that's a total of 15 damage. Awesome.
Okay.
Yep, 15 damage to this creature.
Force.
You guys watch as like 4 bursts of energy just go poof, 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 and explode from the inside out, and you see this like slough of gray matter just to the ground, and like limbs just start jittering on the ground, and these zombified forms just completely decouple. They are no longer a single corpulent form. They are just pieces of zombie. all over the place.
Well done.
And
Killed it from the inside.
Yes, absolutely. From the middle of the of this swarming mass, you just see like covered in gray viscera is Louisa.
I did that to an aboleth once.
Yeah, I remember that.
Nice.
That was super fun.
Okay, so it's dead. It can't attack me. Like attack of opportunity.
You do not see it moving to pull you or grasp you in any way. It is super dead.
Where? So this spot here. Is that a door? Is that a window? Can I then try to move to get into the barn?
There is, in fact, a double door here. That's correct. That is open.
Great. So then Louisa's gonna run and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess that's as far as I can get. So
that's correct.
She's running into the barn.
So, yeah, absolutely. You run into the barn. The first thing you see that sort of staggers you as you run into the barn is on the inside, crawling out from a hole in the floor is another one of these fucking zombie fucking monsters.
There's more in here! So...
Matt?
Yes?
I have a question. My crossbow actually does magical damage because of the infusion.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
+1.
Very nice. I'll keep that in mind for the next time you fire it.
Indeed.
Well, it does the radiant damage as well. So
Yes, magical and
+1
radiant.
+1.
So it's not just
Yeah.
plain old damage; it's magical and now radiant attached to it. Super. All right, Muadnhait, it's now your turn.
All right, she sees this one up here, and she pulls out her skull. Its eyes begin to grow blue, and then its mouth is moving, almost as if it's trying to sing.
Oh, you're way up there.
As I cast Discordant Whispers at 3rd level.
Nice. Holy shit. 3rd level spell.
Yeah, I've got the slots, I just don't have the spell yet.
That's true,
So
that's
might
true.
as well upcast something.
You certainly
So
can.
DC 14 Wisdom save.
Okay, no problem. Let me do that. Uh-huh. Wisdom. Oh, they got a 16.
Damn, so it takes half damage, unfortunately.
Oh.
Poop, because otherwise it was going to have to run away from me.
Darn it.
Damn
So
it.
sorry. How much damage did you do?
I did 15, so it takes 7.
Cool.
7 psychic.
All right. Yeah, you feel like this monster is potentially more resilient, or maybe that it just doesn't see you because its entire frame is just masked by the frame of the window.
All right, and I don't really have anything to bonus action, so that's gonna be the end. I will start moving closer, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, end of turn.
Mikmick.
Mikmick's going to try and pump some more lightning into this zombie.
All right. 17 will hit.
17 will hit, and because I hit that in 2 consecutive turns, I can add an extra d6 to that.
That's correct.
So I'll just roll an extra d6. So an extra 3 damage. So that's 11. Damage.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
lightning damage.
Yeah, you just focus the beam of energy and you just see crisping flesh just bursting into flame. Okay.
And that's it.
All right. Reacting to that, this form sort of bubbles and cracks and pulls its way out of the window. And it's like half ruined at this point, or perhaps even more. So the swarm, whose turn it is now, the one sort of coming out of the window, bubbles its way down to its closest target, who is Amnestria.
All right.
It is, you would say, definitely smaller in its current format than it was originally, and so it. Let me see if that makes a difference. Yes, it does make a difference on this first attack called Undead Mass. So it sort of just swarms around you, and all these limbs start to sort of pull at you, bite. Well, they don't bite you, but well, I think there are probably faces and skulls in there, so they probably try to bite you too.
Does it touch my face?
Well, I guess so, technically. So I guess after this attack, they're probably going to get some necrotic damage. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that is a 19 to hit.
19?
19. 1-9.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, so that's 7 bludgeoning damage. Sorry, no, I beg your pardon. Sorry. Let me re-roll that, because you have a swarm that is half or fewer. Only 3 bludgeoning damage. Go ahead and give me the necrotic.
Nice. Wait, this 2d20.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, that's
My face.
really
This is my face right now.
2d10.
Jesus.
2d10. Oh, I need to roll another.
Roll one more.
Sorry.
Yeah. I was like 23
Nice.
damage.
That's 17.
Still amazing.
Amazing. That
That's so
actually is great. Really,
Damn.
really great. Yeah.
17
It doesn't
damage.
even get the chance to do its second attack. Like it comes in, it starts to touch your flesh, and immediately the whole swarm starts to just fall to pieces.
Nice. Good.
And it is destroyed. Okay.
Right, so
Last but
They're
not
doing
least,
this.
we've got the swarm inside the barn, who will
going
sort of
down.
bubble up and go straight for Louisa. With 2 attacks. The first attack, this swarm has not been touched. So the first attack is at full strength, Undead Mass. That is an 11 to hit.
Miss.
And its secondary Grasping Limbs attack, which is a 24 to hit.
Yeah, that
Yikes.
one hits.
All right.
Uh,
So that
is that another strength save?
that will be another strength save, but you also take 12 necrotic damage.
Ooh boy. I'm still up. Still up.
Oof.
And then here's my strength save. Oh.
And that's at a -1 penalty, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, that's not enough, unfortunately. Your strength saving throw fails. You are restrained by all of these limbs. So literally, these limbs are trying to squeeze you with necrotic force to death. At the end of each of its turns, bad things will happen. Yes.
Meaning right now?
Oh, no,
Since this is the end of his
at the
turn?
end of each subsequent turn.
Oh, okay, great. Okay.
I'm sorry, I beg your pardon. This is the end of each of your turns, right? You can repeat the saving throw. If you fail it again at the end of your turn, if you fail, you take damage.
Yeah.
With me?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm with you.
Super duper. Okay, so that's where we're at. How many hit points you got left there?
3?
3.
Yep. I'm so glad that I decided to burn that extra hit die because I'd be out if I hadn't.
That is a good point. That is a good point.
There you go.
All right, moving
So
on.
I'm going to move my full 30 feet. 10,
Yeah.
20, 25, 30. And I'm gonna. If I dash, can I try to grab them?
No, because a dash is an action, and grab is an action as well.
That is fair. Then I'm gonna fire.
Fire! A 19 will hit. And now we know this is magical damage, so this will do the full Monty. Full 6 plus your radiant. 11 damage total.
Louisa, hold on.
She coughs up some blood.
Okay, Louisa, it is now your turn. You are restrained.
Yes. Can I still use the wand while restrained?
I would say so. It's an action. I mean, you just have to trigger it.
Yes.
How many charges do you have left on that thing, though?
I've got 2 charges left, and I'm gonna use them both.
If all the charges are gone, does
I
that mean
think-
it breaks?
No,
I think-
you have to
I
roll a
have to
d20.
roll something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll see how bad I roll. But if this saves me right now, then
Okay.
it will have been worth it.
I agree.
I think.
All right,
Okay,
so roll that
this is
damage on those
still-
charges.
It's 4 charges again.
So
Yeah,
you had
please.
7 charges
yeah.
on the wand. So let's
2
start over.
charges is 4 magic missiles.
Sorry, 4 magic missiles.
There we
again.
go. Okay, I was
yeah.
like 4
Wanted to make
charges.
sure.
Yes.
There
Yeah,
you
2
go.
charges, 4 magic missiles.
There you go. 2, 5, 2, 4. Total of
Nice.
9 plus 4. That is
13.
13 damage.
Okay.
So yeah, 4 big holes appear in its side. Not happy with that.
Another roll d20.
And Yeah, roll that d20 if you used up all the charges. Don't get a
I
1.
did. Yeah.
Okay. So no more charges, but you have to recharge it at the beginning of the next dawn. It will get its charges back.
Yes.
But yeah, it's useless right now, unfortunately.
Yes, that's okay. It did what it needed to do.
Indeed.
And then
You are
now I have to try to
restrained,
save again.
and you need to save, and you have a -1 penalty to that save. Strength saving throw.
Okay. Come on, let's do this. So Louisa just kind of like tries to focus and call on all of the strength she has left in her very busted body, and
Balls.
fails. It's too much.
You're going down, unfortunately, I'm pretty sure.
I
So
am.
this is
Oh, yeah.
2d6 necrotic damage. You take 11 necrotic damage, and you fall unconscious and are dying. It's well worth noting, this thing is still compressing your dying body, and it will do a melee attack, essentially, in doing those. So it will kill you in probably 2 turns, maybe less. Actually, it has 2 attacks, so technically it will kill you in 1 turn if this thing is dead. How about that? Because it has 2 attacks.
Yikes.
I will do my best.
No pressure.
Get in there and touch it, Amnestria.
We have a potion of healing redemption for Louisa.
Oh.
She goes down.
As she goes down.
She smashes her face on the potion bottle.
Yes.
That's just around
She's
the
like,
window.
help me! And like you just like
It
reach.
disappears.
And like, huh, there's a potion.
There's like a potion of healing tied around one of the zombies' necks.
Amazing. Amazing.
So that hits now.
It hits right now, so you get 2d4 plus 2
great.
healing. This is one of the 3 potions that you all, as a total, can get during a session.
So okay.
So you get 2d4
So 5
plus
plus what healing?
7 hit points. So you are at 7 hit points right now. And you are conscious, but you are inside this creature still.
Okay. So as Louisa goes unconscious, she just sees faces flash before her eyes. She sees a man with brown hair and piercing blue eyes. She sees a tiny little baby with red hair and those same blue eyes. And so she just kind of grabs onto those pictures within her mind, and she just kind of screams with everything that she has left in her as this potion magically falls into her mouth, and then she comes back to 7. She comes back to consciousness and is like, I am not dying here today.
I feel like the potion doesn't necessarily have to be physical. I feel like that potion
great.
could be like a psychological, like well of energy from within you.
Perfect.
Yeah, we were very sort of like literal in Dungeon of the Mad Mage when potions like appear out of nowhere and everyone's like,
Well, thing about this.
Yeah.
but I like this being more of a sort of like a second wind kind of thing almost.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice.
Love it.
Okay, moving on. We are at Muadnhait.
Why not? Alright, so I'm gonna start moving down. 2, 3, 4, 5. I can see it. I'm close enough. That's all that matters. First things first, I am gonna try this one instead. We're gonna hit it with a chill touch.
Indeed. You will indeed do...
16 to hit.
Yep, 16 hit, 13 necrotic damage.
Alrighty,
That's a
let me just make
badass
sure there
hit.
wasn't...
Fuck me, that's a big hit.
It can't regain hit points until the start of my next turn.
All right.
Also, it's an undead, so it has disadvantage on attack rolls against me until the end of my next turn.
Dope. Okay.
And also, then I'm going to look at Louisa on the ground and just be like, I thought I said don't die. I'm going to give
trying.
her another bardic inspiration to her, and I'm out.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
My son fell asleep on the couch. Yeah, he came out and he just fell asleep on the couch. That was pretty funny. Okay. Super. We're at Mikmick's turn.
Mikmick is going to move in close to get into... He's going to move right down there, get right into the face of this horde of zombies.
Am I not blocking the door?
He can move through your space.
It was a double door.
And also,
Yeah.
and it's a double door.
It is a double door.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Double door.
And
Sorry.
Severus,
I know
Severus,
the exact video.
Severus Snape.
Ron
Ron Weasley.
Weasley. Yeah, exactly. Sorry.
Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done.
Eddie Potter.
And Mikmick is going to see if he can get the horde to focus more on him by reaching out and giving a shocking grasp.
That'll hit.
19
Nice.
to hit, 7 lightning damage.
7 lightning. Yeah, this thing is being blasted from all sides. It is not happy. It's looking pretty rough actually at this point in time.
Good.
And that means it can't take reactions, right?
Correct. Wait. Shocking grasp is no reactions. That's correct. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Very good spell. Awesome. Anything
Shocking
else,
grasp.
Mikmick?
That's it.
Super duper. All right.
There you go.
All right. The final zombie limb swarm will attack. It will attack twice on Louisa, since you are restrained, and therefore it will have advantage on your.
Even though I just shocked it.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay.
Going
It
back
sees.
down.
It sees. The most.
Caesar. It's
Double
Caesar.
one.
It's
Let's
Caesar. No, it sees the most attackable target, and the
This
one
has
that
the Ides of March.
the one that it is lovingly just hugging you to death. So instead, we'll
It's
attack.
like, oh, I thought you wanted this.
God.
Double ones. Let's go.
Here we go. This is with advantage. First attack on you. That is a 17 to hit with advantage.
Yep. Hits.
That is 5 of bludgeoning damage.
Oh, okay. Still
Sorry, I
up.
beg your pardon. No, I beg your pardon. Sorry. This is definitely half of that damage. Or I shouldn't say half of that damage, but it's
Lower damage.
it's a lower potential damage.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It's higher this time.
Oh
It's
my god!
I rolled an 8.
Oh,
Damn it.
down again.
Okay.
Down again.
Oh, that's not good. Eek, because it's gonna focus its second attack on you while you're down.
So that's 2 death saves.
If it hits, yes, it's a crit,
If it
which would be 2
Yeah.
death saves. I'm
Yeah.
tense enough, folks. If it
Feel
hits, here comes grasping limbs.
At least she's got an inspiration for her death save.
Yeah, that'll hit with a 16. No, sorry, with
Yep.
advantage of 21. But yes, it'll hit you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so that's 2 death
Alright,
saves.
so that's 2
Oh
failures, alright.
god.
Oof.
Ah.
I got you.
Hold on, I'm checking chat. Another potion of healing. Jesus, these guys really love you, Louisa.
Thank you, chat. I love me too. So,
This time,
Alright.
as chat says, it's Moy Knots, I told you not to die. Echoing in your head.
there you go. Okay, so 2d4.
Plus 2.
So 4 plus 2, 6.
Six.
Okay. So she comes back again with just that, I told you not to die, and she is basically just, at this point, half a zombie herself.
This is what I love.
She's like,
Go ahead.
I'm fucking trying! And she
I think
just...
somewhere in Louisa's ancestry, she may have someone named, like, I don't know, Julian Balboa, because she's a monk. She's a drunk monk. And she refuses to fall over. Like, somewhere within these undead, there is, like, some Russian guy who's like, he's like a piece of iron. I don't know why she will not die. She refuses to die. Okay.
You just will not burn.
She will not die. It is now, I'm gonna lose the accent, it is now Amnestria's turn.
Kill it, please.
Touch it. Just give it a hug.
Touch it. Okay.
Give it
I'll
a
touch
kiss.
it.
Touch.
8 damage.
It had 8 hit points.
Nice.
Exactly. Okay, so Amnestria, you get the killing blow. Well, how do you let this thing fall to pieces?
Well, Amnestria is going to drop her crossbow and run up to the horde of zombies that are enveloping Louisa. Having been crushed by undead herself, she does not want that to happen to anyone else, so she's going to dive into the pile and just start clawing them away from her until there's nothing left.
Awesome. Fantastic.
And then just kind of leaning on her elbows and her knees on the ground in front of her, just panting, out of breath, before looking up at Louisa and making sure she's still alive.
Of course.
Louisa's coughing up blood, but she's just kind of like laying on the floor next to Amnestria, staring at the ceiling. I'd hug you, but I think that would finish me off.
Don't touch skin.
Okay. And we are out of combat. So, yeah, the little girl sees this sort of whole thing take place, and she comes out from behind, just like a wooden slat that she's been hiding behind. Basically, in order to prevent this thing from getting at her, she, like, hid inside the wall of the barn. And now she sort of squeezes out from this sort of wooden shield that she's created for herself. And she's just looking down and she's just weeping. She's crying out of so many reasons. She's crying out of stress. She's crying out of happiness that you guys are all still alive. She's crying out of the fact that she's had probably the most traumatic experience of her young life happen to her.
Louisa struggles to her feet and goes over to her, and she's like, "It's all right, darling. You're safe. Can you come down?"
She, like, slowly and carefully, like, comes down to the main floor, and you can see her clothing is ripped. She's just filthy. Her hair is matted. And
remember, Louisa is still wearing a mask.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jesus. It's like a scene out of Fear the Walking Dead.
Calm down.
Come down to us.
Thank you, Mikmick, and takes off her mask.
Okay. Yep, absolutely. The little girl says, "Oh, thank you for saving me."
You don't have to thank us, darling. Come here. And Louisa just holds out her arms in case this girl wants a hug, in case she, like, wants to check her over, make sure she's not hurt. Like,
yeah, you can do a quick medicine check. Low DC.
yeah. Okay. Ugh.
Not that low.
Covered in blood. Are you hurt, darling?
She says,
Like,
"No, but I'm really hungry."
all right. Where's your mummy? Where's your papa?
She hears that and immediately sort of begins to sob again.
All right.
Here.
Yeah. You can come with us. We'll get you some food.
She says,
"Come on, darling."
My mummy's gone. She got all rotten and twisted inside. And my daddy was taken. He was taken from me and brought to Morfenzi to be part of the army.
That will bring you there.
Yes, you can come with us. You'll be safe with us.
The soldiers, they were in a cart, and I got into the cart, and then they found me, and they said I needed to get out of the cart, and I was a stowaway, but I followed them. I followed the cart as far as I could, and then I found this barn, and I hid as quiet as I could because of the rotten things, and then they came. And I don't know what to do. And she just, like, breaks down.
Oh. Louisa just kind of, like, kneels in front of her and just takes her in her arms and just holds her close to her and says, "Darling, you were so brave. You did everything right. It's all right. It's all right. You're with us now." And she's just kind of trying to hold her and comfort her as best she can.
Okay.
While you're trying to comfort her, having heard that she was hungry, Amnestria would take out one of her rations and offer it to the kid. But put it on the ground nearby, not actually physically hand it to her.
Right. Okay. Yeah, she
Why not
eagerly
leave
takes
this
it.
touching scene and is standing outside, just keeping watch on the woods in case any more of these things show up.
Okay,
Mikmick is going to head outside as well, so...
no problem. Make a perception check, folks, if you want to find out more.
Make a quick perception.
20.
Ooh.
Not bad. Mikmick gets a natural one.
Because I was thinking Mikmick's more interested in what caused these hordes of zombies to all commingle into one big creature.
I would say,
So he's going to go over and investigate the actual dead zombies piles.
you know, the chat giveth and the chat taketh away. The chat giveth life, and then they giveth the Taroka. Muadnhait, as you step outside to look around for signs of other things or potential hostile creatures encroaching on your position, this one falls to you. This Taroka falls upon you. So let's pull the Taroka deck and see what happens.
Is it high Taroka or low Taroka?
Oh, it's low Taroka. You got some cheap-ass people in chat. They don't want to spend a whole fucking ton of shit. They just want to spend their
Well, the
2,500.
High just goes to the story in general.
It
to the whole
does.
party.
It does. You are correct.
Unless Matt decides to put it on someone.
Well, that means JF has done a broker for each one of us, except Amnestria, this session.
He wants to spend his points. He
Thanks,
spends his
Jeff.
points. Thanks, Jeff.
Hey, thanks,
Yeah,
man.
thanks, Fran.
All right, this one's going to you, Sarah.
Alrighty, what do we get?
Deal.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
What you got?
Come on.
Ooh, I think this is new.
Ooh.
The Hooded One, a mysterious presence or
Ooh.
newcomer, a visit to a strange new place. Kind of like Emperor Palpatine. That could go either
Yeah,
way.
a little bit.
Okay. The hooded
He looks more. The neck looks more like Gul Dukat to me.
one. Jesus. I got that joke. Okay.
Good.
Go to cut. Okay, so
Best trek.
the hooded one. Let's check and see what that does. Okay. Here we go. The hood. Ooh, this one's complicated. Sarah, as you look outside, it is you and only you who can see this figure appearing behind you. This figure, as you turn, seems to have just appeared out of nowhere. This figure has a cloak, a brown, almost black cloak, from head to toe. You cannot see this figure's face. However, it moves, not stepping, but almost gliding forward towards you. And it sort of raises its hand, palm up, and offers you an agreement. And you know this sort of just naturally. You know that this thing is sort of offering its hand in a supplicative sort of motion. But it is more of an agreement. Like you will obtain a certain ability if you choose to agree. And as you make more agreements with it, this is one of the only sort of different kinds of cards. As you make more agreements with it, as it passes through the party, these abilities will grow in power, but also will grow in cost. If you understand what I mean.
Pact.
It's your choice.
Not will accept.
Muadnhait will accept. Muadnhait, as your first ability, you will obtain the ability to cast the spell Hex.
Oh, I already have that.
Oh, you do? Okay, I'll choose a different
Yes.
spell then. I will choose a different first level spell. I didn't know that
I
you
already
had that.
have that from my race.
Well, hey, that's fine. I will choose a different spell of the same ilk. First level enchantment
Bane.
spell. Bane is the second agreement.
Already, I already have Bane too.
Oh,
So this is,
you've already got Bane.
Well, it's possible that other people don't have these spells, right? It just happened to
This
be
is
for
true,
you.
This is true.
if
So-
somebody else pulls
Sure,
it.
Exactly. So let me just choose a different enchantment spell that is not Hex. Time to go to the internet.
Hunter's mark.
Nobody uses that spell. Just kidding. Hunter's mark. Everybody uses that spell who's a ranger. Nobody plays a ranger. First level. I play lots of rangers. First level
Very
enchantment
rangers.
spells. Here we go. Fairy fire.
Ooh.
How about them apples?
Yeah, I'll definitely take
Yeah.
that.
That's a
Love
good
that
one.
spell.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So you will get the spell Fairy Fire. You can add that to your spells.
Fire.
Here's the thing. There's this is not a long-term thing. It is it is only for the next 24 hours.
Okay.
And the cost is you take damage. You take 1/4 of your current hit points rounded down in damage.
Yikes. Okay. Every time I cast it, or it's a one-time thing?
No, it's just a one-time deal.
Okay.
So you pay in blood or in soul for the use of this spell for the next day.
Next day. All right. Cool.
You're taking page from Amnestria, Muadnhait.
I know, right? Interesting.
Okay.
And it's 1/4 of my maximum hit points, or 1/4 of my current total.
1/4 of your maximum hit points.
Okay. Cool. Just double checking.
Yeah.
Expensive.
Oh, it gets more pricey as you guys keep
I
getting
bet
that
it
card. So I'm gonna put that card back in the deck. Yeah.
Next time you get it, is it still you get to choose, or
Yes, you get to choose. The next
this
person
only for
gets to choose.
24 hours?
It is.
So it's not immediately cursed.
This is the curse. It's the boon and the curse at the same time.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's the only one that I can see in the common deck that has that particular sort of setup, so to speak.
Great. Yeah.
But the next, I mean, you can just decline it, and then it will just pass through the deck again until it gets to another person who may actually want it. I like that a lot, actually.
That's fun. I did actually also decline a Taroka
Yep.
at one point because I
You
was
did.
like, nah, that's useless. I was like, that's useless to me. There's no point in me taking this.
That's right.
I would rather let somebody else take it.
Exactly.
Boy, you don't know how much I was wishing that those strength saves I was making were con saves.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, well.
If only.
Oh well.
Okay.
It's all good. Thanks again, chat.
Absolutely.
Love you, chat.
Yeah.
Okay. You take the little girl back to your camp, I assume.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming I saw nothing coming at us with the perception
You
check
did
that I
not.
made.
That is correct.
Except for our missing
Except
cart,
for-
because those fuckwads definitely stole it. So
Surprisingly, when you returned back to the camp, your cart is still there.
Are the supplies in the cart still?
The supplies are in the cart.
His ears still there?
The mule is still there.
Okay.
Are the guards awake?
The soldiers are not there. No sign of them at all. No footprints. No blood. Nothing.
Is the campfire still there?
Campfire's still there. The embers of it are obviously out at the time, but the 5 of them are gone.
They were definitely all still there whenever I heard the screaming and started
They were
running.
asleep.
Okay.
This whole thing lasted from beginning to end. You running through the woods, you finding the girl, you fighting off these horrible creatures. The denouement and the discussion with the girl could not have taken probably more than 15 or 20 minutes, end to end.
Okay.
And there's no beds there? Or those
There
beds?
weren't really sleeping on beds. They had bed rolls.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Bedrolls.
Yeah, but
Are the bedrolls still there?
no, the bed rolls are gone.
I mean, it's dark out, but can we look to see if anything's missing from the wagon?
Sure, make an investigation check.
Mikmick will uncover the ghost lantern.
Okay.
And say, I will make a survival check to look and see if I can see tracks.
Sure.
As soon as I
Thank
figure
you.
out what I did with my character sheet.
With a 19 investigation, you do not see anything missing or even moved on the cart.
And terrible survival check that time. So
No footprints that you can see, unfortunately, we're not.
And do I need to make a check for seeing if there's any ghosts when the ghost lantern's unhooded?
Oh yeah, you unhood the ghost lantern. You do not
Or
see any.
ghost light?
Yeah, you don't see any spectral figures that appear because of it.
Okay. So we'll cover it back up then.
Okay.
That was my thought.
It's the lantern of revealing, right?
Yeah, lantern are revealing. The
Invisible
renamed
creatures. Yeah, it's not ghosts.
Yeah.
Invisible creatures.
Yeah.
Important distinction.
so glad we stayed with these men for protection. Very useful.
They were very helpful indeed. At least it doesn't look like they took any of the things in the wagon, which is... Well, I don't really want to find out what happens if the thing we're transporting goes missing.
Agreed.
Well, I think we should get back to our rests. Heal up a
Indeed.
little bit.
The little girl sort of looks at the four of you and says, "Where are you? Where are you going?" She looks at the cart and assumes that it's yours, of course.
We're actually going to Morfenzi, so perhaps
Her
we can
eyes light
find
up.
your-
She's just like,
yeah.
"Ah, my pa!
Perhaps we can find your papa. Yeah,
He,
your papa.
yeah."
We'll try to help you find him when we get there. All right.
She nods.
Okay.
We
What
just
is
need
your
a
name,
rest for a
by the
bit.
way?
My name
Yes,
is Julia.
Julia. All right. I'm Louisa. This is, and she introduces Amnestria, Mikmick, and Muadnhait.
Mhm.
If you need anything during the night, all you have to do is call out to us. One of us will be awake. All right.
She nods.
All right.
Okay.
Do you think maybe she should stay in the wagon tonight?
I do. Yeah. So I'm gonna take. I think I have a bedroll. Or something.
I have a bedroll.
Yeah, I have one too. So I'm just gonna take the bedroll that I had and I'm gonna just lay it in the back of the cart,
Okay.
kind of like in the middle of the boxes. So she's got some cover and protection, and I'm just gonna tuck her in there.
Cool.
And then Louisa will just kind of sit against the boxes. And she's probably gonna pass out, so if that's okay with the group.
Yes.
After that beating. So
So Mikmick will stay on watch. Let the others...
I actually think you should rest, Mikmick. I can take the next watch.
Well, you haven't got your
The
first
first-
watch.
My sleep was interrupted. You took the first watch. I will take the
Yeah.
second one.
Your first watch hasn't finished yet.
I mean,
Technically.
pretty close. Right? We're into the second watch now, right? More or less?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Oh, I'll just have to sit down. And Mikmick will sit down next to the cart and lean back up against the wheel and take his 4 hours.
Okay. Make a perception check.
That I can do.
Okay. During your watch, nothing untoward occurs. It's a very cool and breezy night, surprisingly, as you sort of rest along the road, compared to the hot, humid just pressure of the day in Volkovnia. The nights are relatively cool and somewhat comforting. You end your shift. Second shift.
And that means I get my 2 hit dice back and all my spell slots, right?
If you've completed a long rest,
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
you get
That was
half
only
of your
2 hours just now.
right. You
Wouldn't
need
that
to
be that-
complete the long rest at the very end of all of your shifts. That's a long rest.
Ah, okay, because I mean my long rest is 4 hours, so
Oh, well then there you go.
But you just but if
Yeah.
that if that watch shift was only 2 hours, or did Amnestria watch for 4?
yeah, that's what I was questioning.
Okay.
She did.
Yeah.
So we should
She
be on the
watched before.
third watch then.
Technically, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So who's the next in line?
Well, as I said, I was going to take first and third,
Okay.
and then Amnestria can take second. So
Okay. Cool. So then hit me
So
with that
unless-
perception.
okay, perception. 19.
Mm-hmm. Nothing untoward that you have not yet already seen.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing sneaks up on you from the darkness. And everyone seems to be sleeping relatively soundly. All right.
That would mean all our long rests are done.
That is
'cause
correct.
Me and Amnestria switch because we both only need 4 hours while the other 2 need 8.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So all of your
Yeah.
cool-ass level 5 shit, guys,
Yay!
Bum-ba-da-ba.
Now
Things that
comes
would have
into
been really
play.
useful in that fight.
Yeah,
I
things
know.
that would have been useful. But yeah, I get all my spell slots back. It's not like half spell slots. or-
Correct. Yeah, all of your
Yes.
spell slots come back on a long rest.
I need to roll a d6 to see how many charges my wand.
Yep. Roll that d6.
Take away.
1!
1 + 1. So, magic missile,
Yeah,
2 charges
Not bad. Not
on
bad.
recharge.
That thing is really useful.
Yeah.
No, it's multiple things, and people saved my life in that fight. That wand definitely.
That wand was very helpful.
Are there any Harry
Yes.
Potter characters who know Kung Fu? Or some kind of martial art? Because I think you are probably one of them at this point. Because you have a broom, you have a wand. Yeah. At this point in time, it's just a matter of
Well,
like...
she can't
Probably.
cast fly yet, so
That's true.
Not yet.
Not yet. Soon.
Nor,
need to get her that-
nor will I be able to unless that comes with that card.
Artificer Infusion can't be able to cast fly on the broomstick.
Oh, there you go. Oh, nice.
There is
So
a
then I can
broomstick
fly
of
and
flying.
Punch people.
That's an...
There is
There is a broom of flying.
Yeah.
Yep. hmm
I think one of our characters had that in a campaign. Am I thinking of a different campaign?
I don't know.
Did Mad Mage, you guys not have a room of flying? Oh, you know what?
No,
No,
we
this
did
is...
not.
I'm thinking of a very old campaign that I was in. Curse of Strahd. Like a long time ago. One of my characters had a
Dalton
room
had
of
the
flying.
boots of flying.
He
that
did.
flew around
That's true.
with.
All right, so the day dawns. You already begin to feel sort of oppressive heat as the sun starts to rise in the east. What do you want to do?
Move off as quickly as possible.
Fantastic.
I'm going to start my day with a song. I got the one again. Come on.
Same song,
Same fucking song.
same verse, same as the first.
Well, if we're going into town, that might come in helpful.
Indeed.
How long does your inspiration last, Sarah?
Oh, like 10 minutes, it's over.
Okay, so
I got them all back, and I get them back on short rest. So I just expended 1 to sing my song. I've got 2. When I take a short rest, the song will no longer be available, and I'll get my inspo back.
Nice, nice. All right.
So we're leaving. I do want to make sure that the child is still there.
Yes, she is.
Is
She-
she awake?
Well, you can give her a little nudge. She does wake up. If you
Yeah,
want.
I'm not the person to do that.
Okay. Yeah, bad idea.
we'll just let her sleep for.
I'm gonna tell. Oh, I shouldn't do that.
She
I'm
only
going-
has 3
Wake
hit
up!
points.
Wake up!
Don't do that, please. Amnestria
Why
is
isn't she
going to
waking
take
up? She won't wake up. Sorry. Anyone?
It's
Anyone?
okay. Amnestria's going to take out another ration and put it next to her
Okay.
wagon.
Cool. All right. So, Julia.
Hitch up ears.
Yep, Julia does get on the back of the cart. Ears is like, she just gives you this look of like, did something happen? Like in the middle of the night? If so, whatever. And
Not my problem. Yeah.
yeah, it sounds like a you problem, adventurers. I'm just here to pull the fucking cart. And yeah, continuing along the road. You reach, I would say, in about an hour. Well, actually, let me ask you again, because it's a different day, so you have a different opportunity here. Excuse me, a different pace, if you want to choose it. Stealthy, which is slow. Medium, which is normal. And fast, which is, obviously, perception penalties.
Well, considering that this party is useless at stealth as a group, with all the heavy armor wearers,
Might as well
I'd
go
vote-
fast.
or I'd vote for medium.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
medium would be a good idea too.
Yeah.
All right. Medium would get you there, I would say, like, because it's the morning, I would say would probably get you there just before noon. Maybe a little earlier,
Yeah.
like mid-morning.
Sounds good.
Okay. So the cart sort of grumbles down the path, making pretty much the exact same noise as if, yesterday had occurred yet again, because you're not attempting to stealth badly or stealth well. You're just attempting to just head down the road. And you reach this amazing, rushing river that seems to be sort of down on an incline. The road is up maybe about 15 feet from this gravel sort of decline that goes down into a sort of small sandy beach littered with detritus and branches and other things. And then there is this rushing sort of white water at certain points river. And then on the other side of that river is the thicket of the forest. So you've got forest, road, river, forest.
So Moy taking a dip.
I was gonna say, Moynat just sort of walks away from the cart for a moment and sort of scrambles down to the bank and reaches into the river and splashes water on her face and her chest, a
Okay.
little bit in her hair.
Um,
Just,
as you go down to the river, start splashing water, you see that the river has a pretty decent current. And
yeah, that's why I didn't jump in.
no doubt, absolutely. There are small fish and other aquatic life that you can see inside the, not like completely murky, but definitely cloudy waters of this river. Clearly it has some kind of a silt bed to it. And that's when you see, floating down from upstream, a shape. It's hard to make it out at this point, but it is something that is just floating downriver in the water.
My immediate assumption is corpse.
Your
So I
assumption
would-
is probably pretty well founded, as you see more shapes, all approximately humanoid size.
I'm gonna back away from the water.
Okay. You back away from the water, and more shapes. And more shapes. And more shapes. Perhaps 24 humanoid forms floating down the river, all wearing Talon armor. And you're like, wait a second, that doesn't make any sense. They're wearing armor. Why are they floating? And you see that the reason why they are floating is because they are buoyed from underneath by bags or some kind of sacks. Like they're sort of like on like lazy tubes full of air or something that's keeping them up. Like they're literally just sort of like floating in the middle of these sort of inner tubes full of some kind of substance. Just sort of like lazily, their heads just bobbling.
Do we see any of the guards from the previous night?
That was what I was going to about to say.
You don't. As you sort of back off the river, you sort of look at these people floating down river, and you don't recognize any of the faces from last night now.
Things don't seem to be going terribly well for Talon upriver.
Do you think that a horde could have done this? Because I'm not sure that I do.
Well, they
I
are in the
don't
middle of a
either.
war. But no, the way they're floating, that seems to be a message.
Mm.
And it's not for us. I suggest we keep moving.
The bodies
Please
float
don't
down
find
river and out of sight.
You might want to try to cover up the sigil.
On the shield.
On the shield, yeah. Only show it if absolutely necessary, or until we know what we're getting into.
She will adjust the shield so it's underneath her cloak.
Okay.
How big is the shield? Is it a decent sized shield or generally like a buckler?
It's like a kite shield.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it would be under. It could fit under her cloak.
Yeah, sure.
Louisa also, looks behind. Is Julia still asleep in the cart?
No,
Or-
she's awake. She's sort of looking. She's staring at this just ridiculous number of bodies. She doesn't seem too kind of taken aback by it.
Okay.
She's just staring. She's just like,
Well, that's usual here.
Louisa just reaches down and puts a hand on her shoulder and just gives it a little squeeze.
she just sort of looks at your hand and then looks up at your face and then just back to the bodies. And after a certain, period of time, the bodies stop coming downriver. But you can estimate that after all is said and done, that there's probably about 60, 65, maybe 70.
When you say downriver, are the bodies coming from the direction we're going, or are they going the direction we're coming?
They're going the direction that you are headed.
Oh, interesting.
Well, I'm sure we'll find out all about it when we get there. Let's just get this over with.
They're headed towards Morfenzi, downriver.
Get to Mordenzi. Mordenzi? Morfenzi?
Morfenzi, yeah.
Morfenzi. To get to Morfenzi, find Radaga, and get out of this forsaken place.
Sooner the better.
Okay. The rest of the day passes without event. And your cart travels down the road. You do see there's a sort of rickety wooden bridge that enables you to cross over it. As you approach the town of Morfenzi, you are able to see it on the other side of the river. You are also able to see that the woodlands have been cleared out. There's only a sparse tree here or there, but it's mostly just grassland, blasted heaths, and trodden earth where you guys are right now. But you're able to cross over the river, and you do, in fact, now see the town proper. Here's what I would say. The scent of wood smoke and tilled earth hangs in the air as the road abruptly ends in a circular palisade consisting of row upon row of sharpened wooden poles. Beyond the palisade...
They took Amnestria's idea.
They did.
Beyond the palisade, you see a number of field tents which have been set up over the ruins of a village, the remains of this village, whose cultivated fields are filled with laborers harvesting vegetables at a hurried pace. You do, in fact, see the village itself and are able to see that these palisades have gates. As you approach the gates, they open for you, and you're able to enter Morfenzi. And as you do so, you find that there are soldiers everywhere. You thought Lekar was bad. No. Morfenzi has soldiers probably 3 times in number than that in Lekar, who quickly come to your cart and begin to unload the supplies that you've brought. These guys just heave these crates as fast as they possibly can. Clearly, there is a need for whatever you have brought them.
And they knew we were coming, so it's like, oh, they're here. Get them in. Go. Yeah, get.
Did we beat the bodies coming down river here?
Do you ask this?
No, I'm asking just in general.
I would say you did not. Okay. They passed by you. Their velocity, I guess, was and yours was not the same.
They were faster. The river is faster.
The river is faster than the speed that you went. I think you probably know this innately, but you also are. It's confirmed when some of these soldiers look at the 4 of you. One of them sort of comes up to I guess to you, Amnestria, since you, I guess, of the 4 of you are sort of the most the most martial in your clothing, and the man sort of puts a hand on your shoulder quickly, and says, please, for my daughter. And he gives you a piece of paper.
Okay.
When you return to Lekar, please, my daughter in Lekar, please let her know I'm safe.
Who is your daughter?
It says on the message, and he points, and there's a scrawled, a really awfully scrawled hand. It says Marissa Vanderpelt.
Alright, I can do that.
He says, please. And as you accept it, others pile in. Soldiers, they grab letters and they start to just pile in. And no, please, for my son. No, my father. Back off, fucker. And
stop. We will take your messages back, but please be orderly and hand them to my friends, please. Do not hand them to me.
Okay. One soldier sort of he doesn't have any messages. He just comes up to you and just looks at you in the face and says, please, when you go, take me with you. Don't tell them, but I've got to get out of this place. Just take me with you.
I feel like that would end in both of our deaths.
Okay. He just looks at you in disbelief that you would even say such a thing, to refuse him, and then he just wanders away. As you arrive in Morfenzi in mid-afternoon, the sun is bright. Clouds are drifting overhead, potentially threatening rain. And the air, of course, it's humid, somewhat mild a little bit, perhaps as you come in the early morning. But you can tell it's going to be a scorcher when it hits the afternoon. As you passed into the city, you saw that there were fields, vegetable fields, that seemed to be the staples of all their food here. The fields seemed to be worked by farmers, and that the foodstuffs are dispatched from Morfenzi back to Lekar and back and forth. This seems to be some kind of essentially some kind of a production line for food, not only for the army, but potentially for both towns. Morfenzi itself is actually a relatively small village compared to Lekar. It's got sort of multiple concentric barriers around it. These wooden poles that are 15 feet tall. the village's farmhouses seem to have been completely destroyed by what you don't know. There's just nothing left. Just ruined timbers, leaving the muddy ground strewn with rubble. With the exception of these surprisingly and strangely fertile fields. Obviously, the thing that destroyed these buildings didn't have anything to do with the vegetables. I guess they like vegetables. The inner area of the village seems to be about 100 feet across, actually, which have obviously these sort of field tents for the army and the soldiers stationed here, as well as you do see that there is a large wooden building at its center.
I guess that's where we go to try to find her dad.
I would say you can do that. I myself am going to go look for Bjorn Horseman.
When you say Bjorn Horseman, one of the soldiers turns and says, "Why?"
Oh, I have a message for him from Captain Vant. I believe she wanted me to spit on his shoes.
The man sort of like looks at you twice and says, Lieutenant, she's here to see Bjorn Horseman." And one of the guards with like a full helmet, like removes his helmet. He's got a scarred and a battered face. His jaw is sort of like slightly off to the left. He sort of says, "Did you say Bjorn Horseman?"
Yes, I don't believe I stuttered.
"Yes, Horseman. He would. He looks at your garments, and he looks at the cart that you're driving, and he says, "Yeah, Horseman would want a word with you. I know it. Report to him within the hour."
And do. I'd be delighted if you'd tell me where he is.
He points to the main wooden building in the middle of the field tents.
There's
Very
another
well.
thing. Before we do that, we saved this young girl. We'd like to find her father.
The soldier looks down. She says, My pa's here. He's here." And he says, "Shit. I don't have time to deal with these fucking kids." Nurse! He snaps, and like one of the sort of medics comes out, hands stained with blood, a bloody tunic. "Yes? Yeah, this child is looking for her father. You're gonna have to help her find him." "All right."
No, that's not what I asked. I said we want to find her father.
"You?
What's your father's name?
Timothy?"
Does he have a surname or just Timothy?
Numasara. Timothy Numasara.
Timothy. Yes. Do you know where he is, where he's stationed?
Shit, there's just... Corporal! And he sort of like motions to a guy and he says, "Bring me the registry book." See where the hell this moron is. And the guy trots off.
You're in front of his daughter.
He looks down at the girl and looks back up at you. "So?
Do you know what we had to do to save her?
A couple more years and she could be of immense help to us. She could be on the front line."
Yes, we know.
Corporal comes trotting back with a sort of old leather book. Yes, Lieutenant?" "This girl's looking for her father, Timothy Numasara. Look for Numasara, under N." Opens the book. Numasara. Looks up at the lieutenant. Lieutenant looks over at the corporal. The book closes. The girl's like, "Where's my dad?" Lieutenant says, "We'll take it from here." And he takes the little girl by the shoulder and sort of pushes gently her towards the nurse.
sort of lean in towards the lieutenant. Whisper. He's gone, isn't he?
2 days ago.
Fuck.
She'll be well attended to here. Well provided for.
You'd bet to be.
Now, to business. Horseman's looking for you, so I would recommend that you don't waste any of his time.
Maybe he's wasting our time.
Right. I'm just going to start making my way towards the building.
Okay. You are escorted to a one of these tents, these larger tents, I guess, probably, next to this wooden building. This building, at first glance, you thought it was like a kind of a big, just a big building, but it actually turns out that as you approach it, it's some kind of a ruined farmstead that was set up in the middle of the village. And the soldier sort of points to the field tent, and he says, "Inside and down." And you look inside the field tent, and there is actually a sentry inside. And the sentry nods at you. "Horseman?"
Indeed.
And he grabs a length of rope and yanks on it, and it pulls open a trap door into the earth itself. And you see a ladder going down.
Another trapdoor in the middle of the...
Yeah, Louisa
middle of
gets
the-
just incensed at the sight of a trapdoor.
Oh, trapdoors.
She's like, fuck.
It is what it is.
As I prepare to go down the steps, I ask, "Is Horseman alone? Does he have anyone with him?"
The sentry looks at you, and the sentry says, He's never alone."
That's not creepy.
Is there a woman with him? It's a friend of mine. I was hoping I might see her while I was here.
I don't... yes, I think that... I haven't seen her. I'm pretty sure he's with her.
Do you know her name?
I don't... he's very secretive about this person. I don't know who she is. He doesn't really show her off too much, but I do hear voices every once in a while. Well, please, I don't have the time. Are you going down or not?
I'm gonna go down the ladder.
Anna just rolls her eyes and goes down the ladder.
All right. I'm going to give you a very cool piece of art about your arrival in Morfenzi. First, I'm going to show you that. Here is your arrival. I like this a lot, actually.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's cool.
Nice.
nice,
Oh,
right?
that's nice.
So you guys can see the palisade and, of course, sort of overarching architecture here. And then I believe I also have another one, and this is where we're sort of going to stop because it's kind of important. Where is it? Here we go. This is sort of the bird's eye view of what Morfenzi looks like.
Skull and crossbones.
There you go. Oh, did it not come through? Let me try it again. Sorry.
I'm not saying it
Yeah.
yet.
Let's try again. I'm sorry. Show to players. Show to everyone. There we go.
There we go.
There we are.
So as you can see, there's sort of an inner palisade and an outer palisade that seems to be set up with barricades, essentially, and small tents or field huts or whatever.
So where would one tent we went into to see Horseman?
It's in the middle of the entire facility. It's like in beyond the central of these palisades. It's like in the middle. Okay.
So it's like Willow.
Yes, it is like Willow. I didn't think about that.
Everything's all underground. Yeah. All right.
So you climb down the ladder, and the sounds of the outdoor area are drowned out by an intense sort of silence, which you assume is a silence that is brought on by the fact that you are now underground. But I'll tell you what it is that you do hear. Let me just get the sound effect ready. Hold on. Where is it? There we go. Okay. You hear instead the sound of sort of bubbling and strange sort of hissing sounds, potentially. Let's see if that makes sense. Yeah, there we go. As you move further into an area that is lit only by torches, filled with tables, packed with beakers, vials, and other equipment. A number of soldiers are indeed in this relatively small area, as is, two people. One, a sort of shaggy, white-bearded man with an enormous number of wrinkles and bright, light brown eyes, wearing a sort of cravat around his neck and a leather jacket. And he's hard at work doing some kind of alchemical or potential chemical experimentation, not quite sure. And standing next to him is a woman. This woman has jet black hair and pins of some kind of strange nature, keeping her hair in a very sort of jaunty fashion. She is wearing as well a leather vest, which has a great degree of sort of beautiful embroidery and leatherwork on it. There also seems to be an animal in this room because I just heard something. And she's wearing also a sort of a chemise and a pair of pantaloons. She also wears a pair of very cool spectacles on her eyes that make her look a little strange because the spectacles are not clear. They change color slightly as she comes into the light. And the man with the beard stands up as the four of you enter into this laboratory after notating something down on a piece of parchment, and he says, "Ah, yes, welcome. Welcome. I believe you already know my partner in crime. May I introduce you to the great seer, Radaga." And that is where we're going to end
Finally found
tonight.
her. Yeah.
God, finally. It's like been catch me if you can with this chick.
Amazing. All right.
Yay.
Good job, folks. Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's where we're at tonight, folks. Okay, cool. So, with that, I guess, let's go ahead and just wrap it on up with some farewells here. So, yeah, thank you guys very much for being part of this awesome session. Of course, I have to thank my fantastic players here. And thank you guys in chat for helping them survive.
Yes, thank you. Oh my God.
Amazing. Next time we meet will be, I believe, sometime in mid-June. 2 weeks from now. And we'll see what the hell comes of this one. But until that time, I'm just going to go around the horn. You guys tell these folks here where they can find you on the internet. Let's start with Sarah. Oh, I pointed the wrong way. Sarah's over here. Boom, Sarah.
Where am I? Hi, I'm Sarah. You can find me on the internet at Lovely Llama on Twitter and Instagram and Reddit with an extra L in lovely because someone stole my username. And I know, right? So not cool. It's mine everywhere else. And yeah, that's really about it. I'm here on Slices and Dices a lot. And yeah, come hang out with us. We're cool.
Thank you, sir. Moving on down to Mikmick Town. That is our friend Red Platinum. Red, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me over the internet at different places. I've got accounts pretty much everywhere, though I don't post that much, so you probably be quite difficult to find me. You'll mostly find me on the Discord, talking to people, chatting about what I want to do in Ravenloft next.
Cool. Thank you very much. And moving on over to Maeve. Maeve, where can people find you on the internet?
Hey there, I'm Maeve. You can find me at Maeve Climber and Twitter and a few other places. I drew art, and you can also find me on our Discord. And that's really all I have, except for Challenge Accepted Red, and having 2 L's in Lovely actually sounds really cool because Llama has 2 L's.
It's true. Lovely llama.
That's
La,
why
la,
I
la,
did
la,
it
la, la, la.
when I discovered my name had been stolen.
Yep,
But
that's fair.
Fantastic. And then finally, we have, of course, Megan, who played Louisa. Megan, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me at Megan Lanapp on Instagram and in our Discord channel. And once again, thanks for saving me twice. So-
Awesome.
That was JF.
That was, I mean, yeah, potions. You got to use them.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Thanks, Steph.
Yeah, the more
Yeah.
that you watch us here on Slices and Dices, the more Slices and Dices points you garner, which you can use in a variety of our games. Your Ravenloft, you can use them in Alien, you can use them in, well, we got them a couple of other places. Call of Cthulhu.
We'll just save them all up like I do.
Yeah, just save them up because you don't use them. Eventually, I think you hit a maximum and then you're like, what do I do with all these points?
there's a maximum?
I don't know. I've never hit them, you know. I've never
999.
Yeah, it's usually 999 like Galaga, right? Like once you hit the score, you just like you can't go any further. All right, I'm Matt. I help to produce and run things around here at Slices and Dices, and you can catch us next week where we do an awesome run through of what could possibly be a one-shot, but could potentially be the beginning of a sort of a mini campaign utilizing Magi Knights, which is a great new system that just got kickstarted and got kickstarted in a big way. Huge kickstart, and we're happy to run through the starter adventure of their system. We've got some cool folks who are going to be playing either magical girls or Sentai, or like basically with the idea that they're all part of like a group of friends, kids in the 90s during the day, go to school, and then at night they try to find extra dimensional creatures and put an end to them without stressing themselves out too much. Sounds fun.
Gonna be amazing.
Gonna be a
Yeah.
blast.
Definitely Sentai, not hentai. Thank you, JF. 100%. That is a different story and a different game, all
That is
together.
That's what Call of Cthulhu is.
It is. Although hentai, weird.
Tentacles.
Let's put a next card on that one. All right. That said,
Not.
yeah, that's not. I agree. That said, I'm gonna finish up with what we say every time here on Slices and Dice: don't forget. Take care of each other, but don't forget to take care of yourselves.
Shirt.
The shirt. I'm gonna put it on one. Make it happen. Make it so. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great rest of the night and a fantastic 3-day weekend.
Yes.
It's Saturday. Let's make it happen. Oh, and Kenobi's awesome. Footnote.
It is.
It's really good.
I haven't watched it yet.
It's really good. Bye, everybody.
Just Star Wars movie.
Oh boy, we're gonna talk about that, Maeve. We're talking about that real soon. Have a good, like super soon. God, I'm done. Have a good night, friends. Bye.
Thank-